I made it back just in time. I was in the other room filling up my drink. How's my audio sound? Is it too loud?
Sounds horrible.
Does it?
Yeah, awful.
Is it because I'm talking? Is that why you're saying that?
Well, it might a high contributing factor might be just your voice in general.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
the sound of you.
I'm
I
American,
understand.
man.
You don't have to go any further.
Dog.
I know you guys ask for certain people every week, but I can assure you that everyone that has ever been on this show has a link to the show. If they want to show up, they can show up. Speaking of that,
yeah.
Hello.
I was going to say that might be.
I got
scared
0
of
links, so I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Well, apart from the OnlyFans link, but that was more
that
private.
one. That link definitely, but none of the other ones. No, I know people ask for a lot of people to show up. Like you have to tell them on social media that you want to see them because the links are there, and so if they want to come in, they can. But they may not know that you guys want them, so you have to like tell them like, hey,
abuse them essentially.
Just right. I'm
verbally.
live Mondays and Thursdays around the same time now, so like if they want to show up, they can. It's literally that easy. Speaking of, there's 3Dub in the chat, but so there he is. We also have a bunch of people. Hello, South Texas Shark Team Eric member. I appreciate it. We also have a bunch of people. Matt Chuck is here. Silhouetted Animators in the house. Blackwing Gaming is here. Jose is here. Blackwing, are you on one of the other normally I think you're a channel member, but you might be on the other one of the other channels. Hero's Journey, of course. Maestro is here. Lucas is here. Fetman's here. So good to see everybody. Good to see everyone. We don't have a ton of stories this week to talk about. We have a few things, and I'm going to watch. There was a trailer for... What is the trailer for? Hold on. The Marvel 85th anniversary that we can watch. I haven't seen that yet, so we'll watch that at the end, as usual. Save trailers for the end of the stream. Speaking of last week, the trailer got claimed almost immediately. Whatever it was we were watching, I can't remember what it was, but it got... not the Christopher Reeve one, the other one. What was the other one we watched? We watched 2 of them. Sonic. It was Sonic 3.
I was going to say Paw Patrol.
Right away. Yeah, not Paw Patrol.
How did the Disney one go with all those trailers that we watched?
You want to hear the funny story about that? None of those got claimed.
Really? None
of them. I don't understand the process of claiming trailers.
It is specific things. I don't know what Paramount's usually like with this Sonic one, but I know Universal, are a bitch. They'll look for the tiniest thing to, even like if you were doing, let's say doing a rant and review or something, or maybe you just showed like what's Fast and the Furious. I think that's Universal. If you just showed like a 5-second clip, no audio, you could flip it, you could saturate the hell out of it. Like what's it called? Like when you burn it. Like what's the thing? Like when it's like I don't know what it's called.
Put a filter on it. Is that what you're talking
they
about?
call it something like something burn or
there is burn. You can burn. Yes, that is a term for video.
Whatever it's called, but like
it makes it transparent.
Like they
so
do the fry it.
Yeah,
whatever it's called, and like it looks like hard to say, but Universal will find a way to claim.
Yeah. Speaking of guests, it's been like a year since we've seen Garnet Bunyan. So
Hi.
good to have you here. It's good to have multiple. We have less stories, so now we have more people. That will make up the difference in the time, hopefully. Yeah, so that one didn't get claimed at all. But I will say I don't understand the claiming of trailers in general. Like I don't get why you even bother to claim trailers. I understand like movie clips and stuff like that, but trailers, like it's
We're
kind of
marketing
spreading
the movie
word
for them. Yeah, it's weird.
Well, they're not. The thing is, they're not striking it down. They're just saying, we'll take the money from that. Thank you very much.
Well, no. The ones that I get, it blocks it in certain countries. So I'm like, I can't even... That's the issue I have. If it's like a yellow icon where they're like sharing monetization, because that's what they do now. If you look, a lot of places just share monetization. So it's literally like you're making... They're only taking a portion of the money from the videos. And that's a much better system, but not everybody does that. You have to go in and look to make sure that's what they're doing. I don't care about that part. That part doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when they block my videos. Like you can't see them in certain places. Then I have
Disney's bad for it. Disney's very bad for it.
So, yeah, Hero's Journey. I don't know if they don't want reactions from trailers. I think they have a system that just they upload. This is our content, and that way, if somebody uploads the full movie, it does it. But when you're watching a trailer, you get bits and pieces of the movie, so they know that it's their content. I'm guessing. Cody
Plus,
says
I guess their own channels.
Yeah,
their own channels and their partners will have released their own trailer. So it's like, go watch it on our channel, not yours.
Right.
So they're just greedy.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I think with advertising for me, the amount of money that you make back off of that is probably so tiny compared to what you're trying to make off of the films.
Absolutely, it's greedy as hell.
Do that. So yeah, it's really stupid. All right, so I want to, before we get into any of the heavy topics, I want to talk a little bit about this, and then I actually have something else I wanted to discuss. But let's go ahead and shift this around. Where's it at right here? Is this it? Yeah, this is the right one. There we go. So it's a new little setup here. So I thought this was kind of neat. Anyway, Hellboy the Crooked Man. I have not seen this movie. I want to put this out there. I have not seen it. I'm probably not going to see it, to be completely honest. Has anybody on the panel seen this movie?
No.
Not yet. No, I've been ill.
I don't even know if it's getting a release down here.
So this is a reboot again of Hellboy. It's like the third in the film franchise or whatever. But this one was extremely low budget. Like very, very low budget. And they said they were going for more of like a horror element and all of this. And I was reading through like the reviews of this, the people that have seen it early, and it seems like they couldn't even get the story right. So it's like, it's not just that the movie is low budget. It's like, it's too serious in one act and then it's like humorous in another. So it's almost like two different films. So I am very curious, actually, if it's, if it's really as bad as they say it is, but I don't want to do like I did with Pagey when he was like, oh, you have to go see Morbius. And then I go see it and I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? So I don't want to do that.
Yeah, mate, that did not happen. You were the one that was, you're like, this is going to be so good.
Let me ask you though, is anybody a fan of Hellboy in general? Like,
I love the Guillermo del Toro ones.
I guiltily have not
They
seen
are
them.
Really? Oh wow, they're classics. They are classics. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen them. I haven't seen the David Harbour one, but I've seen the two Guillermo del Toro ones. I mean, I'm not like in love with them, but I think they're good,
Yeah.
I wish they would have gotten a third one to finish out the story. That's my only thing.
Can you go do another movie or something? And then like it just like got halted like that.
I don't know if that was the issue or not, but I do know the studio was very much like not interested because I think the second movie didn't do as well.
Yeah.
Let me check. Let me see how much those movies made.
Second movie was really good. Like
I like both of them, honestly.
Yeah, but the second one kind of hit more for me, like emotionally.
Yeah.
Like
I actually think the second one is like a better film, honestly. But yeah, it
dark,
is what it is.
Very dark.
Let's see. Okay, so the budget was 85 and it made 168. So it under.
Yeah, but that was, you got to remember that was also back during the, like, nowadays that'd be a bit of a yikes, but that was back then when like Blockbuster was still around, I think, and people actually bought DVDs and stuff like that.
I mean, maybe, but I think still that's a low number for an 85. The 85 back then was probably pretty high for a film, I would think, right? Back before like the MCU, because this movie came out like right before Iron Man, I think. So I think 85 was pretty high, unless I'm wrong about that.
It's like 2005 or 6, maybe.
2008. So it was filmed in 2007.
Wow. So yeah, right before them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
What's the studio that's like putting this out? Is it just like
Which one?
this movie? This a Hellboy movie? Is
It's like an indie studio. It's not even a major studio.
Gotcha.
I'll look here in a second. But the first Hellboy movie cost 66 to make and only made 100. So I don't know what was going on back then. But that movie came out in 2004, 2005, I think, somewhere around there. Let's see about the new Hellboy movie, Hellboy the Crooked Man.
Yeah, because they made this really quickly. Like they announced this about a year ago at this point.
Yeah.
And it's like,
So,
it's out already, I guess.
The weird thing about this is one of the writers was actually the creator of Hellboy.
Whoa. Okay.
Mike Mignola, yeah. So this was made by Millennium Media. So
That's
it's
a
an
really
American
weird.
independent film production company. So
Sorry, really
No,
weird.
yeah, go ahead.
Criticism that the story didn't translate well if the creator is involved.
Yeah, I think so this is maybe a hard pill to swallow, but I think it is a situation where this is just a case of like someone who writes books not being able to write movies or TV shows. Because he's a great comic book artist and he's a great writer, but maybe he's not great at writing screenplays for movies.
Sure.
I mean,
But that's why you have the room, isn't it? That's why you have the writer's room to work with him, you know?
wow. The creator did everything for this movie, so that's...
Ugh. Okay, maybe not then.
I mean,
I don't know.
you know, I feel like that happens a lot though, where it's like not everything that works in the comics is going to translate into live action or even the movie formula. So maybe, you know, if what Cody was saying is true, I haven't read the comics, but if they are serious and goofy at the same time in the comics, that might work fine, but it might not work for a pacing of like a live action movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's also why when people complain about why movies and TV shows are changed from their comic book origin or their animation origin is because that stuff doesn't always translate well. And sometimes comic books leave gaps in things too. Like if you're reading a story, dialogue is very quick through scenes. And in movies, that wouldn't make any sense. Which is why when you watch something like Invincible or My Adventures with Superman, any of these things, the story moves very quickly because it's more like a comic book. Animation is more like a comic book, which is why I believe a lot of times some of the best translations of comic books are cartoons, are animation. Yeah. And I feel that way because it's a closer medium. And with film, you have to fill in those gaps because you want the actors to be able to do what they do. And in cartoons, it's all about voice. It's all about them just nailing that feeling, you know?
I was trying to think of who, because the only comic book writer I can really think that transitioned well to both TV and film was Jeff Johns, off the top of my head, in regards to like a prominent one that created characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of
I know Tom King's doing it, but we haven't seen that stuff yet. I guess Neil Gaiman, did he write the... Like, Sandman's just literally Sandman, I guess. There's nothing really like an over-the-top, like... Well, I guess actually it's changing in season 2, apparently, where they're shoving...
I actually think graphic novels translate better because they're usually more written than... Like,
well, I've always said comic book shows, or if you're adapting something, just translates better into TV shows. Like, in a movie, like, you're better off just creating your own separate little thing.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull up this article from Deadline about Superman and Lois. This kind of shocked me a little bit because I don't understand why. So maybe in the article they explain it because I haven't actually read the article, so I was saving it to react to, I guess. That's the best way to put it.
I have a theory maybe why they changed it, but...
Oh, so they don't actually give an explanation. I'm sure you've read the article. So
I haven't read it either, but I
okay.
Just in the headlines and stuff.
All right, so Superman and Lois final season moves to new night as the CW swaps Monday and Thursday lineups. Now, I do know that they were supposed to have lead-in from the Librarians, right? That was supposed to be the lead-in for Superman and Lois?
No, other way around.
This was the lead-in for that, then? I know it was the same night.
Yeah, this was always 8 o'clock.
This was always 8, and then I think, like, when Superman and Lois was on, like, episode 2 or 3 or something, or 3 or 4 or something, Librarians was meant to debut.
Okay. The fourth and final season of the CW Superman and Lois will debut sooner than expected. The CW's made a change to the network's fall schedule with Superman and Lois, the new Wild West unscripted series, The Wranglers. Unscripted? It's a reality show? We're going to have to look at that after this. I want to see what that is.
It means you're going to watch it because you
watch
I like reality shows, but that sounds really bad. It doesn't sound like a good one. The Wranglers is moving from series Wranglers moving from Thursday
Eric,
to Monday.
The only thing is that it is a cowboy and cowgirl show. You know
Has
what
to
that
be.
means?
Yeah.
Has to be.
You know what that means, Eric?
Chaps.
Chaps.
Oh,
Chaps.
No.
shit. I need to come up with that.
And now it's just whether they are
my
arseless.
God. Here we go with the bullshit.
What do you mean the
Right.
bullshit? You're the one that flaunted it.
No, you keep bringing it up.
Keep trying to bury it.
Swapping nights with the upcoming game shows Scrabble and Trivial Pursuit. So those are going to Thursday.
What?
I still need to see how Scrabble's going to work as a show. I can see Trivial Pursuit, but Scrabble just seems like it's going to be Like I know how Scrabble works, but I don't
Right.
know how it works as a game.
How are
show.
you going to
Like,
steal tiles? It's crazy.
That sounds so sad.
Yeah.
It's such a sad lineup.
Think about the lineups we used to get on the CW, like Riverdale, Supernatural, all of the Arrowverse shows, the 100, like all the
Naomi.
good shows we used to get.
Now we
They're
have
not Naomi.
Dictionary, and it's just so sad. Just
Gotham
to be like,
Knights.
oh, it's a cowboy. I don't know.
Eric, you liked Gotham Knights.
I thought Gotham Knights was better than I thought it was going to be. It doesn't
I-
mean
oh,
I liked
okay.
it.
I didn't
It
realize
was-
you were gonna defend that. That was a troll. Anyway.
It turned out as bad as I knew it was going to be. That Batman was horrendous. What the hell was that mask about? I still can't let that go.
Oh, that was the issue.
Oh
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
show.
yeah. That was it. Well, I heard a rumor about that apparently there was some issue with like the original one, and they had to swap it out last minute or something. I don't know if that's true or not. But
and it will
It
haunt
can
them
come
forever.
down to like the specific design whether DC signs off on it or not. Like if it
Yeah.
looks too much like a previous Bat mask and stuff. I think that was
so
an issue
they
with the
went with
Gotham
that one,
Studios
which is
edition.
more like a masquerade mask. It was like something you wear at like a
Yeah.
costume party or something. But as far as Gotham Knights goes, I saw potential for something good. I don't think they knew how to do it though. That's the problem.
The issue was the premise was good. The execution was
That's exactly what yeah,
Ass.
that's exactly how I felt about it.
I like the back half a lot. I
With
think the
Two-Face?
first half really struggled, and I feel like the back half was trying to find its footing. I think it's just they didn't have enough tools in the arsenal to really pull off the show they wanted. Like they clearly had like, oh yeah, this is what kind of show we want, but we can't use any of these things. So it's like,
Mhm.
all right, this is what we got, I guess. And I don't know.
Oh,
It's,
look
I
who's
just-
finally shown up.
As much as I I like some of the characters, they all felt very generic.
hmm
You know, especially Duella, I think her name was.
Yeah,
It was
Duella
just so,
yeah.
yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Well, I
honestly.
mean, they had like a lot of characters with interesting backstories, but they didn't really explore them until halfway through the season, and then we knew the show wasn't getting a second season. So I think we
I
found
guess-
out right before the end, like halfway through the season, that weren't getting a second
it was
season.
a couple episodes before, I think.
it was like there was like two or three episodes to go or something. I have a big question for you, Eric, though.
Okay.
Out of these three characters, who do you think would have improved Gotham Knights as a series? Whether it was just season 1 or is going to a potential season 9.
no.
1, I'm Cupid Stupid. 2,
Mhm.
Goldface.
Mhm.
3, The Flash season 9, Cecile Horton.
Goldface. I'd rather see Goldface than either one of those characters.
Okay. Do you have a
Goldface was at
specific
least.
reasoning?
Look, the only thing I can say about Goldface is even though that was a very memeable character, the charisma of that character made him good.
Well, no,
That makes
it's
sense.
because they knew it was a stupid fucking character and they played into that. Like, even the actor was like, this is fucking stupid. But anyway.
All right. So the rest of this says
Let's
the move
go.
is believed to be in response to ABC creating an 8 to 10 p.m. game show block on Mondays with Celebrity Wheel of Fortune and Pressure Luck, which would have gone head to head to the CW's game
What's-
show. So they were worried about a game show showdown, I guess.
What's Pressure Luck?
It's just another one of these stupid. I
No, I thought, because I know what Wheel of Fortune is. Wheel of. I know what that is, but like.
Pressure Luck is a new show. I've never seen it before. It's a new one.
Okay,
But-
no, I thought you might know like the general.
So this is literally the most pathetic thing. These two networks are battling over game shows. Think about that for a second. Game shows that are just going to pull in whoever tunes in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people, these kinds of things are like comfort viewing. They're not, aren't like dedicated to watching them. On top of that, some game
some
shows come
people
on
are.
every single night. Like Wheel of Fortune used to come on every single night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who-
Yeah, I
what
guess the
celebrities
old
are
ladies-
on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune?
Jeopardy used to come on every single night. I don't know if it still does or not.
I think it does.
Is it?
So they didn't want to go head to head with a game show block. So they didn't want to put Scrabble and Trivial Pursuit up against Wheel of Fortune and Pressure Luck.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know. I
crazy.
think the thing is, I think that the studios where they do them are in LA. They're in LA, the two studios. So maybe it's like, oh fuck, they cost a lot. But then you just have to set up the one thing, and you record
Look,
like game shows work in regards to like
Shows
They
you what
just-
I know.
they
Never
just
seen it.
what are they? How many episodes do you think they record in one day of
Game shows, I think it's like 3. I think 2 or 3.
3 or
per-
4.
depending
Probably
on what it is,
depends.
yeah.
Like probably depends on a
Wow.
specific time slot. And there's breaks obviously between them, stuff like that.
Because on Wheel of Fortune, they used to talk about having to change outfits between every episode, so it was really weird. Like Vanna White used to have to change dresses like 4 or 5 times a day. It says here that this is just such a strange thing. With Tuesdays and Fridays spoken for with live WWE NEX or NTX or XT.
NXT.
I want to say next, but I know that's not.
I think it means next.
Oh, does it? Okay.
I think
Inside the
next
NFL, the network
show.
didn't have many nights to work with. So you have Superman and Lois, and that show's getting thrown around over Scrabble, Trivial Pursuit, and a football after show.
Yeah.
It's already had days change, which had it before, hasn't it?
Well, no. Well, to be honest, it's a better night for Superman Lois, but it's not. It's not a good thing that it's been like what would a month and a half, and or not even that, a month and 1 week now because of the change of date, and they're changing it. It's like,
which means that a lot of people may not even realize this has happened.
Well, it's not even that.
In the first 2 weeks.
Posters and the main trailer that's up have October 17th.
Yeah, that's true.
As the date. That's the biggest issue. Like
the artwork that I used for this thumbnail still has that on it, and that's the one that was out.
They
years
also,
ago.
also obviously, like I'm sure they'll like update the social media stuff, but I don't know. I don't think they can change the trailer. Like I don't know if I know some things can, but I don't know if like the CW can.
Maybe they can put out a new one just to kind of like try and remarket it.
Maybe, I don't know, but or they might just say, I don't know.
Unless they're letting us do all the legwork.
Or they could just like re-upload the first one with the new date, I guess, if they wanted.
Yeah, something like that, or just make a new trailer. Maybe they might force them to make a new trailer because of that.
I mean, ultimately, I don't even know if they care because it is the final season.
Yeah.
But personally, it's going to suck for fans because they might miss the first 2 weeks of the show.
Yeah, but yeah,
I think it's going to have pretty
or first
bad
2 episodes.
marketing.
I mean,
because I feel like most of these shows have had terrible marketing for their final season. Like Black Lightning didn't put out a single promo for their final season.
Can you imagine what
the client's contract?
The superhero like locker room is going to look like with Superman just playing Wheel of Fortune and Scrabble by himself?
No, are you serious? We need the promo where it's Superman in chaps on a horse.
Oh no, we're gonna look that up in a second. But I do want to know everybody's opinion because for me, I like it. I actually like it better on a Monday. I think it's a better night for me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, anybody that does a podcast that does it during the week now will have the show will be out.
Yeah.
By time the podcast comes out, which means you can talk about it, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. And I'm moving the after parties will come on after this show. So the time slot where we're doing this now will be the after party because that's what it'll be. It'll be the after party for Superman and Lois because it is the last show. Yeah. So that is the last one. And, we're going to go out with a bang on that one. But yeah, so that's what it'll be because I'm not going to do rant reviews anymore. I might do a theory video about Superman and Lois during the week, but the reviews will be just on live streams because I actually enjoy talking about them on live streams more than making videos anyway. So, and I think people like watching that more.
Wait,
anybody have any
serious?
thoughts on this?
We're not doing after party during your most anticipated show, Creature Commandos.
When does that come out again?
December.
No, we'll be doing these live streams, but we're not going to do after parties for that. No. This is the last show that has a specified time slot. Like nothing else has specified time slots anymore. They just come out in the middle of the night. So there's no, you can't really do it after,
And they're an error.
Yeah, because this is the last show. I don't really watch like network TV outside of like these superhero shows, and I used to watch so many, and now it's just like it's all medical shows. And
let me tell you, we had a discussion about how we're going to watch this because we don't really use the cable box. Like we have one, but we haven't turned it on in months. So we were like, does it still work? We don't even know if it still works. So
I haven't watched anything live since this ended. That was like a year and a half ago at this point. 2 years now? Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
So the after party was more about shows that came on network television and came out at specific times.
Right.
That's
well, I don't.
Anymore.
I am going to struggle in the UK for the most part
because of the time.
Just having access to it. We don't have that here.
Isn't there like a military thing you can use that lets you watch it?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like it's not even illegal. It's a real like a legitimate website. So
yeah. Good shout. I'm good.
So
do you know why? Because my the site I used just left a message the other day saying, "Oh, we loved having you. But yeah, now we're going to go away and make sure you pay for your subscription services.
Yeah.
Have fun, y'all. I was like, ouch, ouch.
This is also just the last like superhero network show probably ever. Like this is probably the last one with like a 10 to 13 episode, or I guess this one's only 10 episodes. I guess this is on par with streaming, but like the era of like 13 episode superhero shows are just done. Just the end of the era for these type of shows.
There's actually no trailer for the Wranglers. We were gonna watch that, but I don't see one. Wait, hold on. I know everybody was ready on bated breath to watch that.
Oh yeah.
All right, but there is a little article about it, so let's look at this article. The CW ropes in cowboy docu-series The Wranglers. So it's a docu-series. It's not even a reality TV show. The fuck? All right. Let's see what it says here. Close that. CW explore the world of professional cowboys and cowgirls on a Montana dude ranch in an 8-part docu-series. That explains why it's not... It'll come out after the first week, because I think the first week of Superman and Lois is a double premiere, right? Isn't it 2 episodes?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it needs to be. Yeah.
That's going to be crazy. The network is launching The Wranglers, which comes from 90 Day Fiancé producer Sharp Entertainment. It comes as the next star-owned company moves into a new phase with a raft of new series leading into its fall lineup, including shows based on Trivial Pursuit, Scrabble, and WWE NXT. So this isn't launched until October 24th. Unless they change that. They probably move that up a week too. I bet you that's up a week as well to fill in that time slot. Let's see here. The Wranglers will rope in viewers into his captivating real-world set against the backdrop of Big Sky Country. Fans love the drama of the bunkhouse on the scripted hit Yellowstone, and now we're bringing it to life in the series. Audiences will instantly fall in love with the hardworking and passionate cowboys and cowgirls that work on the ranch. It's a story of romance, friendship, and conflict. So it's like the Real Housewives of Yellowstone, I guess, is what it's supposed to be.
It's weird because you canceled your like cowboy show. You literally had 2 of them, and you canceled both.
You canceled both of them, yeah.
Which I thought Walker was one of the safe ones. Like I thought, like, oh, that's a relatively cheap show. I thought they might keep it around a couple more years.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people felt that way. I think the cast probably felt that way as well. Honestly,
I thought like Walker and like All American were going to be those 2 that at least kept her on for a couple more years. But
3 what hat is that? Is that a Pikachu hat?
Yeah.
Because now because we have Superman Lois this year, Librarians is moving to what? Fox or moving to somewhere FX something, and then their only scripted show left is Wild Cards. That's it for them. Which is anybody watching Wild Cards? I think Lance is the only person I've ever met who watched Wild Cards.
No.
I'm not watching anything new on CW.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think him and his wife pretty much binge stuff, so I'm pretty sure they watch that kind of stuff together. But I don't know how I feel about this one. This is one that I will definitely not be checking out, and I can't imagine that the demographic. Think about this: what would have been a better lead-in for this, Walker or Superman and Lois?
A Walker.
So you got rid of the show that could have been the perfect lead-in for this show.
Yeah.
And you're putting Superman and Lois in place of it?
I'm confused, right? Because who are they trying to hit with the demographics, right? Because
old people.
They got like the old lady crowd with the game shows. You think old ladies are going to watch the Wranglers? That's going to be that's who they're hitting with.
The market for the Wranglers, I think, essentially would have been the same market as Walker. I would guess, like that same type of demographic, but that had Jared Padalecki's like power behind it, though. So
it just feels like they're all over the place. If I'm honest,
they are. I think they're struggling. And Paige, you talked about this. What show is it? The Librarians is going to be on TNT, but it's still owned by CW. Is that what you were saying, Paige, or something like that? Like it's a CW production.
It's like distributed by the CW, but it's like they're having to start the CW studios because of it.
Right. So that's going to be a CW. What am I looking for? Like it's going to be a production from the CW that is on another network that is owned by Warner Brothers. So Paigey and I joked about this, that Warner Brothers is going to be buying from the CW now to air their content. I mean,
essentially, yeah, like it's all over the place now. It's like
how
full circle.
stupid is that? Oh my god! All right, let's get away from that. I can't take that anymore. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to do the next big topic in the title, which is this picture for the Thing from the Fantastic Four. Now, I saw it the other day, and I don't know if anybody's got any other details on it, but I do want to tell you guys what I think about this, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, because I have a feeling I'm right, but, you know, Paigey always says I take L's, so... Anyway, so this was taken as a set photo.
Whoa! I knew that brow was going to be like that. Ah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so this is very accurate to the comic books. Like, this design is the most comic book accurate thing we've ever had. If this is what it's going to look like.
Wow.
However, I don't know if this is confirmed to be an actor or if it's just a model that they're using.
Good point. Yeah,
because it doesn't look animatronic to me. That mouth doesn't move, I'm pretty sure.
I think there's an actor underneath that, but I heard some people say it's a stand-in. So it's
that's
just
what I
kind of
think
there
too.
to have a figure there if they can look at first, not just like a shadowy figure. Or
I think the thing that was said is that it's like a reference thing, but the actor's in it and it moves. But there was another thing I saw where they're going to make it stop motion. Where I'm like, what? They're going to make it stop motion? Well, it's going to look like a fucking Wallace and Gromit. Like, what do we?
That could be when they're traversing universes, though.
Oh, it's actually it's not Ebon under it, so it's a stunt person.
Yeah, but I mean, he would only do like the voice work, right? I assume, or I guess mocap, right, or whatever.
But my thing is, to be quite honest, this picture looks good. I don't think this would look good moving around with real people. I don't feel like it would.
It depends stylistically how it's done. If it's filmed in a certain way, like imagine if it's, I don't know, like there's certain, like, you know, like how there's like the Rocketeer, that movie. If that was filmed differently, it'd look really stupid, but it looks good because of how it's filmed in that way. So it could depend how it's filmed and the aesthetic around it. Yeah. My whole thing is, I'm still wondering, are they going to do the thing where, well, the Thing is almost like the Hulk, where he changes, and that's maybe why.
I feel like that would take away so much from his story,
because that's also in like a minority of this takes of it. I think it's actually only in like one of the animated series or something like that.
Yeah, but I feel like that would honestly take away from the tragedy of his situation.
Yeah. And him, so I don't think that's right to.
Could they do it? Absolutely, because there are situations where that's been something he was capable of doing. But I think ultimately most people feel this character is a tragic character because of being locked into like this form, like not being able to transform back and forth. So I'm not sure. I did see your super chat, Stagger4. We'll talk about that when we're done with this. Just letting you know. How do we feel though in general? Like, should this character be like that Fantastic Four movie from the 2000s where it's like a suit that moves like animatronic stuff, or do you prefer the one from Fan Four Stick where it was basically all CGI?
But no, I don't know.
No. Definitely the suit, because I think like because Ben Grimm is like always such a nice guy. Like he's sad and stuff, but he's always kind of being jovial and sweet and heartwarming to everybody. That I think, again, as Paige was saying, like with the aesthetics of everything they're going for, they got Herbie, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? So I think they're going to do well. I think it's going to fit very well.
I'm just watching the video. We can't show it here because I'm pretty sure that will get flagged. But it's not moving in the video. It's just they're putting the mask on the guy.
Yeah.
And the suit doesn't look very heavy. It looks more like foam, like cosplay foam. I don't know. We'll see. I think my cat just locked himself in the bathroom again. I hate when he does that. Oh my gosh. Let me go check on that. I will be right back. Because let's see here. Let me change my thing for BRB. I have a BRB thingy set up. Can't remember who told me it was wrong, but anyway, I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves about this movie. I'll be back.
Everybody excited for it?
I'm really excited for this movie. Like it's crazy because like a year ago I was like so tired of hearing about all the cast, like the fake castings or the rumored castings, the director to director, the writer to writer. I was like, I don't care about this movie no more. And now I think it's one of my most anticipated like current MCU movies. Like every new suit we see or poster they put out or new information they put out, I'm like, yeah, this sounds incredible. It just sounds great.
Yeah, I am really interested to see as well, like how they integrate into the MCU. You know what I mean? Because they are key characters, and obviously the cast is very good people and very amiable. So I think they'd be getting along with everybody.
100%.
So Cody has a $5 super chat here. Says Shakeman is going to be practical for a lot of this movie. I honestly think it's perfect. I just hope so. This is one of those creative choices that I hope works with the other Marvel properties. Because if you think about it, like say for example, they would have made She-Hulk practical instead of VFX. How would that have looked next to the Hulk if they ever share the screen together?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like. So I hope that this, if they're going to do practical, they need to make sure that it does still vibe with the rest of the MCU, because otherwise it's going to look really weird.
I would get, if you remember back to Werewolf at Night, I'm pretty sure, I forget what it's called, like Man-Thing, I think. Like he was also practical, and it looked really good. Like I think it was mixed with CGI, but it was like a mix of like practical and CGI. I thought it looked incredible. Like I think you couldn't tell. It looked great. So I think if it's anything like that, I'll be really happy with practical.
Yeah, I really did love Werewolf by Night as well. That was really good.
Look at this right here.
Oh, okay.
Going live when I'm in bed is insane. We're here right now. Like, what the hell?
Well, get out of bed, Lance.
All right, we had another super chat from Staggervore here. Eric, did the CW name a new affiliate for your area? Just curious. So you were asking me about the thing where they had decided that they were going to remove the CW from my network. I don't know. That's a really good question. I still haven't checked back. I'm assuming it's been several months now. So I'm going to guess that they did. Paigey sent me something quite interesting here. We got to talk about this. We'll do that in a second. I'll know for sure. I'll check tomorrow and let you guys know. But I mean, the backup is I'll probably just use some sort of VPN or something to watch it. Because since I live in the United States, it's a little bit easier for me to do it than it is for people overseas, because I can always pick another area just in the United States to watch it in, which actually might be better for me because then I don't have to worry about watching it on TV, like on my actual television. But
yeah,
we'll see. Thank you for the super chat. So, well, Paigey is AFK, so we're not going to talk about what he sent me. Let's see what else we have here. Had something else going on. Has anybody seen the Lord of the Rings shows today? The 3 premiere episodes. Has anybody watched those yet?
I guiltily have not watched the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh, you haven't watched any of it? Not even.
That's one of my big guilty like missing points in like the entertainment spheres. I just haven't.
Wow.
But I'm wanting to soon because 2 things this year. We got the animated movie coming out and Rings of Power season 2 just started. So
yeah.
They're also doing a remake of them. Those they're doing 2 movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Rings of Power. The first 3 episodes that dropped today feels like a really long movie. It looks beautiful.
Yeah,
it really is. So Defunct says haven't watched the episodes yet. I think it looks really good. It dragged on a bit in parts, but I was asking because when we were watching it, I was like, is this based on like an actual book, or is it like a bits and pieces from lore that have been expanded into a series? Because it felt like it was a little long-winded in parts, like they were padding time to get the episodes to a certain length. And I don't know why, but it's so weird. You watch something like The Acolyte or pretty much any of the shows that come out from Disney, where some of the episodes are 24 minutes and some are like 48 minutes and stuff like that, which I hate. But then I look at these episodes like Rings of Power, and I'm like, why is it an hour and 17 minutes long? Like what? Like I don't understand that, because it feels like a lot of it is wasted. So I don't know. I think it's all right. I know some people complained about it. I love being more of a casual jump in fan on stuff when it's things like that, because I don't want to fight with people about what this one page in this book said. Like, I don't want to do that. I just want to enjoy it and have a good time. And that's why I'm able to get into like Star Wars and stuff for me personally. Now I know Darth Bunyan is like massive, massive Star Wars lore guy, just like Omega is. So like when I have you guys on, I can always say, hey, does this make sense? Or like, was this like, because I can't go through, like, there's all that expanded universe and stuff that I don't know much about. So
there's so much that even I have like loads untouched. It's crazy. No one will ever be able to do all of it.
Are you playing Star Wars Outlaws, Darth?
No, not yet. I'm waiting for Black Ops 6 in like 16 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's free for people on the Game Pass. Can you imagine? They got an exclusive. So if you have an Xbox and a Game Pass,
that is crazy.
You get early access to the beta before October.
That's wild. I'll tell you what. I wanted to play that the Black Myth game. Or that was really good. Haven't had a chance to. Honestly, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14. They had a new patch a couple weeks ago, and I've been diving into that. Let's see here. Well, I kind of got sidetracked with that page you sent me, and he's still not back yet. So, I had some other stuff bookmarked here. Oh, what are your guys' thoughts on James Spader returning as Ultron for Vision Quest? Any thoughts on that at all?
It's crazy.
Absolutely expected, honestly. Just to say that was it. Just that I expected it. It's Ultron. You can't kill all of Ultron. You can't erase all of him. He would have been hiding in the internet somewhere, and then
it's like
bam.
trying to kill Brainiac. The same thing. Like Brainiac's always got a backup or something somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it was just kind of like a matter of time. Like, he's one of those villains that, like, you were just kind of waiting for him. I feel like I personally loved Ultron as a villain. My only issue was, like, I wanted more of him. Like, the movie's called Age of Ultron, and it's like Afternoon of Ultron. So I think I think actually having, like, if he is the villain, we don't know if he's the villain yet. I'm just assuming at this point he's the villain. That's like 6 to 8 episodes worth of him as a villain. And I think you could actually, like cement him as a threat, like show what he's capable of.
You know what somebody pointed out? That Age of Ultron is the only Avengers movie where they start and finish as the Avengers.
Yeah, it's the only real Avengers
all the way
movie.
through. Yeah,
it's crazy.
I was rewatching clips of it yesterday. It's a really, really, really good movie. And
people
Ultron
hated it because they said Ultron wasn't great in that movie, but I really love that movie.
It was intense.
Yeah.
That battle on Sokovia, like when it's floating in the air, that battle is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's see here. What about Beetlejuice 2? Doesn't that come out like this weekend? Wait, no. Is it this
No, that's
September 6th. So it's next week.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I knew it was coming up. I just wasn't sure which weekend it came out in.
Okay, that's
I'm excited.
That's being booked in.
This is interesting. We got streaming ratings here, and it says no original shows came in the top 10 overall. Wait, hold on. What did it say? No originals. So I'm guessing everything is like either another season or a continuation. Let's look at this here. Let's see. So, this is tiny. Pull that out there. Okay. So this is the overall ratings, and everything in the top 10. Look at some of these things from streaming over the last year or whatever. Grey's Anatomy.
Hello. Quickly.
Yeah.
I'm back. but they're doing like roadworks right outside my place. So that's
Okay.
like that's why I went outside just to check because I just started and I was like, what the fuck is that? Because they gave no alert for it and they're drilling like assholes. So I'll be like muting and unmuting and chiming in when I can. But if
Okay.
you want to do that phone thing whenever, don't.
Yeah, we'll
wait
do it
for
right
me,
after this.
'cause I'll be
We'll do it
listening
after
here.
this. Yeah. So these are the top 10 overall, and like Reacher being at number 10. It's interesting. Jack Reacher. NCIS All American.
That's
the
kinda
show
crazy.
the show on the CW that was getting hot potatoed. Bob's Burger, Criminal Minds, Prison Break, Family Guy, Grey's Anatomy, Bluey, and House of the Dragon are the top 10 overall from streaming.
Kind of shocked Bluey isn't like number one. I feel like kids just play it over and over.
Mm.
I feel like
Well, you know why this is a bad way to judge things based on the way they do it. You cannot compete with these other. Look at these shows like Family Guy. How many episodes of Family Guy exist? And how people just put it on in the background and they run it and run it and run it. Minute per
Same with
minute, you're not going to
Grey's.
beat it.
the same with Grey's and Bob's Burgers and
Yeah.
Criminal Minds, and I guess
I-
NCIS as well.
As we go further and further into this streaming experiment that I guess we're doing, you're going to see less and less shows, new shows in these top 10 lists because
Yeah.
if you're talking about minutes viewed, how do you compete? Like All American, I guess it makes sense because they're 20 some episodes a season.
Mhm.
So it makes sense. Bob's Burger. Like this is the reason why cartoons are in here. Cartoons have like, especially these shows like Family Guy and Bob's Burger, there's so many cartoon seasons of that. So it's like just season after season after season. Prison Break though, that shocks me. Prison
Yeah,
Break is
people
number
still-
5.
It's crazy. and also in terms of like new shows, we're not making built-in fandoms anymore with these
Right.
2 to 3 season shows. Like look at a show like Supernatural. Like they killed it on the streaming charts for so many years because you have people that's been watching since they were like 10 and now they're like in their 20s and 30s and they're just like, well, that's how it goes. So
Look at the original series list. The Boys is at number 1. That's only 662. That loses out to Jack Reacher. Love Island,
that makes sense.
A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Cobra Kai, Unsolved Mysteries, another show that has so many seasons. Evil, Futurama, another show that has so many seasons.
That makes sense.
Umbrella Academy, Mayor of Kingstown. The Bear's actually really good, so that
Yeah, that
Bears.
makes. I'm actually surprised the Bear's not higher.
So movies in the top 10 for streaming were Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. How is that movie number 1?
Watch one be Moana. Yep, number 9. Okay. Moana's on that list every year. Every
Yeah.
year it's on that list, and if people are like, it's not going to make $1 billion, I would be shocked at this point if Moana 2 doesn't make $1 billion.
I mean, as we get further and further into this, it's going to be harder to see new stuff in these top 10 lists. You might see 1 or 2, but it's going to be dominated by stuff that has been around for a long time because comfort TV is comfort TV.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it. It's reality of reality TV. All right, so this is what Paigey sent over. Let me see, where's it at? Did I pull it out already? Yeah, I did. Here it is. This is so funny. Here it is. Mattel and Nokia will be launching a Barbie flip phone that will cost $130. It will only be able
Whoa.
to text and call with no internet or social media. A Barbie phone with no social media. It will greet the user with a hi Barbie voice when turned on.
So it's not even a
Wow.
real phone. It's just like it can make calls.
And text message.
What do,
That's a very real phone.
what
That's
do
all
they
you
mean
need.
what do they mean when it says turned on?
I guess when you open the lid, it'll say hi
Flip it?
Barbie. Yeah. Because when you flip it down, it kind of goes into like. the
Oh,
sleep
okay. I
mode.
thought it
So
might have been when
open it up-
when like Eric rizzes it up or something like that. Just-
I think
chats
when
it
you
up.
pick it up and you flip it to talk on it, it's going to say hi
Yeah.
Barbie. That's what I think it's going to do. Can you imagine being in public with this and flipping it over to talk to? Well, here, a couple things. Number one, who talks on the phone anymore? Like I rarely ever make a phone call unless it's like to a family member. Texting is so difficult on a number pad. I would never ever want to go back to that again.
That was great.
So
there.
this is a gimmicky phone. Anybody that has
Yeah.
this is just going to have it for the gimmick.
It's,
of
it's
having
not
a
even
Barbie
that.
phone.
Think about how many people will want this phone that are like under the age of like what 22, 24 that never
Yeah.
would have used this type of thing. like
Yeah.
this number pad to text and stuff. They've
You
just
know
been
what's-
used to iPhones or Androids and stuff like that.
You know what's
to
funny? The
type.
amount of older people that have wanted to get rid of smartphones. This might be the phone that they offer to them. Like when they go into like
I-
the store to get a new phone, they might say, "I don't want a smartphone. I just want something to text and make phone
Yeah.
calls. Here's a Barbie phone for $130." So grandma's gonna be opening the phone. Hi, Barbie. Every time she's fucking the grocery
That's
store.
adorable.
That's my grandma has up until this point has a flip phone, and they're finally making her switch to a smartphone. She's been holding out for years,
Yeah.
and next week she's finally getting like a proper smartphone. She's getting rid of her flip phone. It's crazy though, like it's trying to like transition some of these older folks over to the smartphone.
I remember when my mom got her smartphone for the first time, she was like, she hated the idea of having it. And then after a few months, you couldn't take it away from her. Like she was just doing it, everything. I'm on Amazon and I'm ordering from here and I'm doing this. And it was just like, she loved it. And she was like, it's so easy.
The thing
She doesn't
is
have to use a
that
computer.
this, I think they're buying into the trend because a lot of like people that go clubbing and stuff, I know a lot of girls that go clubbing, they buy phones like this, like those cheap $50 phones.
Yeah.
This is a very expensive, $130 for this type of phone, by the way, but they'll get like a $50, $60 phone. It's literally, I guess it's essentially like a burner phone, but it's just something that they can use to call or text. And if they lose their phone, they're not losing something connected to their social media.
Yeah.
Does it look like a razor to anyone else, like when it's flipped up?
Yeah. I mean, that's essentially what it's the design it's borrowing from, I think, honestly.
I actually think they should kind of keep at least a section of these phones around, because again, there are people that are like, I don't want social media, I don't want that temptation. You know, you hear about people getting those, or even like, I think this is what we should give to kids. Like, I'm someone that like, maybe this is like a boomer mindset.
You know
I
what?
don't think kids should have smartphones. Like, under
It's
the age
a good
of-
point. If you want your kid to be safe, to be able to get in touch with you, give them a phone like this where they have no internet connection and they can literally only call or text.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's like probably
That's
a
a good
boomer
idea.
mindset, but like I see these like 2-year-olds with a smartphone. I'm like, come on, guys, like give them an action.
Well, that's kind
figure
of
or
become a
whatever.
thing that parents do just to get kids out of their hair. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, get on the phone and play a game and leave me alone." You know, it's really weird.
Well, studies are showing that if you do it too early, it'll cause severe depression in
Yeah.
a child.
I'm not too shocked about that.
But also, like, it's tough because on the other fact of it, like, this is the new like generation. If they don't get on it soon, they'll be left behind by their peers, and it's like, it's tough. It's a real tough argument.
All right, I guess we can watch this Marvel trailer now. We're far enough into the stream. We're about an hour in. So apparently Cody said that people are mad because it's not showing enough of the comic book stuff, I guess is what they were saying.
Ooh,
Yeah,
when's
that's
Agatha out?
Agatha's like
Agatha,
2 weeks.
yes,
Two
two
weeks.
weeks, yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't wait for that show. Oh my god, I am hooked.
All right, so here it is. I'm very curious what the discourse is about because I love everything Marvel. I'm a Marvel shill, so I don't have many complaints about that. But let's see. Maybe it's awful. Maybe it's really bad. You know, we'll see where it goes for you.
Here's our special guest, Stan Lee.
Which one is your favorite?
Oh, gee, you know, that's almost like asking a parent who's his favorite child. I think I love them all.
I often look back at the early 60s.
Isn't it weird we're getting like that Superman Christopher Reeve thing, and now we're getting a Marvel thing that's essentially going to be like a Stan Lee documentary? That's really interesting. I wonder if this comes out around the same time.
In the famous Marvel bullpen with Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Steve Ditko, creating Spider-Man, the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four. House of Ideas.
So I want
so
to
young.
put this out there. Yeah, I know. I don't think people understand how visionary the people that created these early characters were, because they made them without any point of reference.
Yeah.
There was no superheroes prior to these characters. They were creating these when there was nothing like this. The closest thing you had was like Zorro or what was the one page you mentioned the other day? Was it the Phantom? There were characters out there that sort of predated superpowers, but they had to come up with the idea of like being able to turn yourself into flame and fly around. They had to create that out of nothing. There was nothing like that in media. And very rarely do we get that today where something comes out and it's 100% unique and brand new.
Sure.
It just doesn't happen much anymore. So all of this is going to be extremely interesting when you go back and you see how this creation process started, because I don't think we give these people enough credit. They're like, oh, I want to be the next Stan Lee. Well, then you can't create comic books. You can't be the next Stan Lee and create comic books because that's already been done. Stan Lee did something that nobody else had done before when he created these stories. And if you want to be the next Stan Lee, you have to do something that either is relatively new or has never been seen prior to this.
It's called that for a reason.
In the comic books and in the movies, story is always the most important element.
That's my secret, Cat. I'm always angry.
One of the best Hulk
One thing
scenes
I
in the
think
entire
that we've
MCU.
innovated is overlapping characters and stories.
What the hell are you guys?
Marvel is this massive canvas through which all of our humanity is explored.
People who have grown up with these comic books, they've known these characters for their whole lives.
To me, my X-Men.
And now there's this new generation meeting them for the first time.
Here you have the chance to be part of something much
Maria
bigger than
Hill.
yourself.
Oh, what was that, Darren?
Poor Maria Hill.
Oh, yeah.
She's done so dirty.
So I want to point out a couple things. Yes, it's obvious that a lot of those early comic book creators, artists, writers, and stuff aren't being featured in the trailer, but I don't think that means that they're not going to be in the documentary. I think what they're trying to do is they want the people to tune into the documentary, and in order to get kids to take their medicine, sometimes you have to use a sweetener to get them to do it. And I think that seeing all of these characters from the MCU is the sweetener to get the general audience in to see this documentary. I do truly believe that's what it's going to be. I also want to point out that a lot of kids who love these characters, to be quite honest, I mean, if you were like 10, 11 years old in the early days of the MCU, you grew up watching these movies and you may have never read the comic books at all. You know what I mean? This might have been your first introduction into the world of superheroes, was watching Marvel or watching DC films or cartoons. You might have never picked up a comic book ever in your life. And that's no offense to the comic books. I'm a comic book person, but this is it's a transition of what that media was into what it is now. And we have to remember that some people's first Spider-Man was Miles Morales, not Peter Parker. It's just, it's the world we live in now. So yeah, I mean, even though it's going to go back and show the older stuff, you have to remember that it has to be relevant to the people that are watching the trailer right now.
I waited a long time for this team up. Can you imagine the fun, chaos? Shut up. Oh my God.
The storytelling reaches to the heart of various age ranges
Angela
and
Bassett.
cultures.
Symbols are nothing without the women
Fortnite.
and men that give them meaning. Today, we look to the future.
I've always tried to do stories that the characters have human qualities anybody can relate to.
Let's go!
And of course, I can't leave without saying Excelsior.
Is that it? Yeah. Oh. All right, there we go. I thought it was a pretty good trailer. I mean, like
thing I think that
clearly there's a lot of MCU stuff in it. I mean, but I think that's to be expected, in my opinion. When
It's not a
advertising
documentary though, right? It's just like a celebration.
It's just a celebration.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
it's a
cool.
celebration, I think. I was thinking it was going to be more like a documentary, but as we were watching it, it's more just like a celebration
Okay,
of 85
gotcha.
years. But the success of the MCU is on the shoulders of the comic books. I mean, that was the foundation of all
Yeah.
this stuff. So, but again, I've met people, and I know this for a fact, people that never, ever read a single comic book that went out and started watching the Marvel movies, and that is their knowledge of Marvel is the MCU.
Sure.
And they're okay with that, and that's fine with me because I don't think that you should have to do homework to love a movie or a cartoon based on something else. I think you should be able to go and watch that, and it should be its own thing.
I have to ask, what's your thoughts on the criticism? It's not even just specifically with this thing, because I highly doubt this is raised it again. There goes the drill outside, so hopefully you can hear me
It's
over
okay,
the
it's
drill.
fine. It's very low. It's very low.
Okay. What's your thoughts on the criticism of that Stan Lee getting all the credit when really he didn't really do much of the creative stuff?
I'm so glad you said it, because I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Right. I do wonder how much this is going to be like hammy fans like Stan Lee service, as opposed to just here's what actually happened and whitewashing history.
I know Jack Kirby's fan has fought really hard to make sure that he gets recognition, and maybe
I think Steve Ditko's family as well.
Yeah, right. There's a few.
Yeah, but I know. Well, I didn't know much about Steve Ditko's family fighting for it. I know for a fact that Jack Kirby's was very vocal about like.
I think the Steve Ditko thing was more like some like credit stuff, like monetary as well. Like, yeah. But I think the Kirby stuff was more like name wise, like wise.
To be quite honest,
father or
no
grandfather.
offense. I love Stanley. I think Stanley's an amazing person as far as what I know of him. He could have been completely different in private, so but I've always heard good things about him. But to be quite honest, the visuals of comic books, all of them, including DC, I would say George Perez kind of stamped DC comic books with a certain vibe, but the foundation of comic book art came from a handful of people, and Jack Kirby was the grandfather of all of that. All of it. The Marvel Way. I remember growing up when I was learning how to draw, there was a book called Draw the Marvel Way by John Buscema. John Buscema was essentially the natural progression of the Jack Kirby style for Marvel Comics, showing how to make things look dynamic, like how to do the foreshadowing with the punching and the kicks in frames to make them look good. And it was like a Marvel thing to make every single panel look as dynamic as possible. And guess who created that? Jack Kirby. That was Jack Kirby that did that. It wasn't Stan Lee. Stan Lee might have helped create the characters and come up with the dialogue, but when you're reading comics, and if you go back and you read those early Stan Lee comics, no offense to Stan Lee, he was not a great writer when it comes to he was a great creator, but he wasn't a great writer. Most of his characters got substantially better when writers who really knew how to write stories kind of took over and started doing it. But to be in his defense, though, the early comic books weren't, they were very different than they are now. I mean, it was literally like, how do we get this character to punch, kick, and slap the next villain? That was literally what it was. But then you got the 70s and 80s when comic books just really exploded and the writing of comics became much more important. So we'll see what happens with that. Darren, you are falling asleep at the wheel here. So,
well, I think a good example to use is even, I mean, you could compare Stan Lee and like his stuff with Kevin Feige. It's not like Kevin Feige wrote or directed any of the movies or the TV shows, but he's obviously the guy behind the scenes and he's the public face of it, like Stan Lee was. But then, like, you could argue, like, if they did a documentary on the MCU, would they? It's like them like leaving out the Russo brothers or leaving out Jon Favreau or something like that, or something. Is that like the equivalent of? Obviously, I don't know if there is a documentary on the MCU. I guess there would be enough time.
I mean,
where
there's
that
some
could happen.
stuff on Disney Plus, but
I know like an official like Marvel Studios made documentary where they probably have to wait a bit, maybe.
Kevin Feige will definitely get something at some point. I'd imagine.
You'd assume so, yeah.
So I'm going to answer this, and I know people that are like haters don't want to hear this. I can't imagine a world in our lifetime, in our children's lifetime, where we will not have Marvel and DC characters. These are characters that will be around forever, probably, until somebody buys them and retires them. You know what I mean? They'll get sold off. The hands will pass with them. They'll be reinvented over and over and over again. And that's the beauty of comic books, is like being able to just constantly reinvigorate these characters. So,
and also I'd say like if the world ended right now, right, and all humans just kind of went away, and like aliens look back on the earth and all of our things, I'd imagine that like when they're reading our stories, when they're seeing what human race is all about, there would still you would find these Spider-Man comics and these Batman comics. Like I feel like they're so ingrained into the pulp culture. Like I feel like they're such a big part of the sphere at this point.
A lot of people have said that these characters are like modern day mythological figures. Like
100%. Yeah, they're
the
some of the
same way
most
that people
iconic.
thought about Zeus. Are you there, Darren?
Hello?
Yeah, I think you were the one that lagged, Eric, because I saw Darren pull a funny face.
Probably. Yeah, it's weird. This time of night, my provider loves to do maintenance, and
I
so
thought it was mine.
it's always me for some reason.
That's fine.
Anyway, so let's see. I was looking up. There is a new Agatha trailer, but I think it's just some new footage, right? It's not a full new trailer.
I mean, in that trailer, there was a couple of those new footage, but it was kind of like what was leaked a couple days ago. So like that one shot of Daredevil, there's one shot of Ironheart, one shot of Agatha, one shot of I think Captain America had a new shot or something, but
from the trailer, right? From this trailer.
Yeah, the one we just watched.
Yeah, I was gonna say wasn't it just in that thing that we just saw?
Yeah. That's all it was.
Pepperoni nipples and stuff.
I guess we should talk briefly about the Acolyte stuff, and then I have, if anybody wants to bow out, I'm going to do like a little tier ranking of fast food, which I promised on Monday. So if you want to stay around, we can do that. But I want to talk a bit about the Acolyte stuff. So Amandla made a response video about everything.
Was it a video?
The cancellation show. Yeah, it was a video.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a statement because I saw like the words on Twitter.
Well, that's because people are pulling like comments out of context from the video.
Oh, I just saw. I think it might have been like Variety or Deadline or something like that.
Yeah,
it was just a summary on Twitter.
Yeah, she made a video, and like half the video is just thanking everybody that supported the show, talking about the cast and the crew and everything, but then also calling out like the fact that people were hating the show before. Like if you go back, the show was announced 3 years ago in December, right at D23. And I think it was D23. It was one of the big things that Disney did, but it was announced 3 years ago. You can go all the way back 3 years ago when barely anything was known about the show other than the name of the show and the period that it was going to take place in. People were already making hate videos about it before we even saw a picture of a character. We knew a lick of dialogue, no trailers, no nothing. They had already started making hate videos about it. Mm-hmm. And so she addressed that in her video that campaign came specifically from the toxic portion of the Star Wars community. Now, I made a video about it on my Debunks channel, but basically to summarize what I was saying in that video here, because I want to get everybody else's opinion on this, is that she basically was like, she wanted to take the job because she knew that it was important for her. It was something she's always wanted to do. And she wanted to be a part of the Star Wars universe. But she was nervous about taking the job because she knew she was going to get hate based on what happened with John Boyega, which happened with Moses Ingram. Everybody that's been involved with Star Wars that is some sort of marginalized community, so person of color, woman, whatever it might be, have had to deal with this hate. And if you go back and you look, there's also a history of those kinds of things happening when it comes to Star Wars properties. And so she talked about like just really enjoying it and having to clap back on it. But she also brought up the fact that, you know, I think that the studio didn't do enough to help with that situation. And I think a lot of people on social media are saying the same thing. As a matter of fact, she says that she's not even using social media for the time being. She's completely not using it. Yeah, I said the same thing. I was like, yeah, stay away from social media. But it sucks that you have to do that because that's a way for celebrities to sort of promote themselves in today's world is with social media. So what are your thoughts on this? The whole drama around it, the petition to bring it back, the idea that we might get a continuation of that story in another series, just in general. What's and I know Paige and I've talked about it, so anybody that hasn't been here that's been able to say anything, like Darren, 3Dub, or Darth or whatever, what are your general thoughts on the drama surrounding the show and everything?
Well, I think I think her video proved the exact point that everyone's been saying, that like I cannot stand of that portion of the Star Wars fan base, but like everyone's saying like, no, we just wanted a good show. We aren't harassing nobody. You're literally like, you're giving her death threats. You're calling her very racist slurs, some terrible, terrible things just from her being like, hey guys, thank you. You know, this is where I'm at right now. Like it's proven the exact point of what you're going at right at the moment. And yeah, I'm so just exhausted by this entire thing. Like I was very in the middle of the road with the Acolyte. I thought I had some good. I thought I had some meh. You know, I thought it was okay, but like I'm so exhausted by just like the toxic fan base. Like you can't say anything either way. Like you mentioned the show's name and you have 50 people being like, it sucked, it's bad, how dare you like this? This is terrible. It's like, yeah, it's such a frustrating experience. Like I made a short this past week just being like, you get no benefit from celebrating a show getting canceled. I didn't even mention the show's name. I just had a clip at the bottom. It was like, you are not getting anything as a consumer. You are not getting anything from a show getting canceled. Only the people making them are consuming. And I got about 13 different comments being like, you're stupid, this is terrible, this is dumb, you're all these nasty, terrible things. Is like, why would anyone want to be a Star Wars fan? Why would anyone want to jump in? Because I don't talk about Star Wars very much. I'm very casual. But why would anyone want to jump into that ring? I think we're getting to the point with the actors as well. Like, who willingly would want to jump into the Star Wars fandom at this point? It's such a terrible environment.
It's an unwelcoming space, basically.
Yeah, like Keanu, there's been rumors going around that Keanu Reeves chose Shadow over Star Wars, and I don't know if that's true or not. But also, I wouldn't I'd understand it, especially what we know about Keanu Reeves. He seems like he's all about positive vibes and good times, and it's like, well, that's not Star Wars at the moment.
Yeah.
So
you know what the thing is that I think the issue is that people treat Star Wars like it is this Shakespearean high level thing. At the end of the day, it's fucking goofy as shit. It was goofy as shit back in the 70s. It's goofy as shit now.
It's supposed to be fun. That's the whole point. It's supposed to be a fun world.
Well, yeah, fun. Well, that usually plays into the fun thing. But if you take it too seriously, that's when you're going to get a stick just grown into your eyes. It doesn't get shoved up there. It just embeds itself within. It's fucking Star Wars. It's goofy little aliens, and the fact that Baby Yoda is enough. That should fucking seal the deal. It's goofy as shit. But that's the whole point. You have fun with it. And I think treating it as this high level thing, and I say the same with the comic book stuff. If you want to do an individual project, which is why I think Andor works, because it's its own little individual thing, sort of set out of some of the major things, and it can be its own thing, and people appreciate it for more. And it was nominated for awards and stuff like that.
Right.
And I think you can do the same with comic book stuff, where you have your individual thing. But if everything was like that, if your main universe was overly serious and was trying to be this Oscar bait or award bait thing, it'd fucking suck. Because at the end of the day, it's made for kids. It's made for kids, or it's made to appeal to kids, might I say. I
also want to point out that the reason why I think Andor works as a darker series is because it removes all of the elements that people associate with the fantasy, which is the Force, lightsabers.
I don't know.
I aliens, it's just not as.
I don't think it's a darker series. I think because it still appeals into that goofy shit. It still does. Like that little
Andor?
robot and everything. No, oh sorry. I thought you meant Acolyte. I thought you said Acolyte.
No. Andor works as a more adult version of Star Wars because it separates itself from all of the stuff that people associate with that particular.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you said Acolyte. Yeah. My bad.
Do you know what's crazy? Is everyone saying oh, Andor's so great? When that came out, everyone was slagging it off. Yeah. No one would leave that show alone. It was bottom of the barrel. It was so low quality, and then now that there's something else to hate on, it's now the best. It's best thing since.
I don't think wasn't it because Andor it was different, and then it grew into its own, and people realized, oh wait, this is its own thing. Yeah. But the thing is, a lot of the other things don't do that. Like Acolyte, at the end of the day,
Andor season 1 is a slow burn.
It is. It doesn't even pick up until the 4th episode is when it starts.
Yeah, I still haven't started it because I haven't been mentally prepared for a slow burn show. I was about to start that Sugar show the other day, and I thought, nah, Eric suggested it, so I'll wait till I'm ready to watch it. Sure. I won't go off Eric's
suggestion. Is good.
I trust you. It just takes a long time. I've heard it's good. It's good.
I did enjoy it.
Wait, you talking about Sugar or?
Oh wait, no, sorry. What? No, Eric. I meant Andor. Sorry.
Sugar is good, yes. Yeah. Andor is also good. They're both good, but they're both slow burn series. So
yeah,
for me, it's I've been when watching Star Wars Episode 1, the Star Wars that 4, 5, and 6, 1, 2, and 3. Andor is missing those aspects that made Star Wars great for me. So
I get that. I totally understand what you mean by that. Yeah, I get.
Didn't we go over that last time because it didn't have lightsabers?
Yes.
Well, it's basically I have a better point. Instead of just saying it doesn't have lightsabers, it doesn't have the aspects that made me love Star Wars.
The fantasy elements that you like in Star Wars are missing in Andor. Yes, that makes sense. Yeah,
which is
100%.
fair. Yeah. But to play the devil advocate to that. I feel like you need those projects to make Star Wars special, right? If every Star Wars is lightsabers and fantasies, then you're going to get tired of Star Wars very quickly, which is why
I think Skeleton Crew is also going to fill another niche that we don't have.
I'll never get tired of lightsabers. That's not a statement.
But Anthony said, is that Anthony? No, it's a different Anthony. I don't know if that Anthony's been, but they said, I don't know, because it's Anthony Beltray or whatever it is, but then there's other Anthony. I think that Anthony's been, I think it is. Anyway, regardless, Anthony said make better stories, or people just want good stories. And I agree with you. Acolyte is rough. Like it's rough around the, well, I was going to say rough around the edges. It's probably rough from the core, but that's because it starts off really rough. I think it builds out pretty well throughout. By the end of the season, like solid. And I wouldn't have been against it getting a second season. I think you reward quality, obviously. So if something's shit, don't give it a second season.
Yeah.
I think Acolyte, to a degree, especially how it ends, it earns itself a second season. But at the same time, it being cancelled, I'm not like riding down the street because I'm like, well.
And I think there's a lot of people that feel that way about most of the TV shows that they that get canceled.
And that's why, like, you know, I think you see, like, I don't know, I don't even know what the ratio would be. I'm sure there's someone that probably does a lot of TV journalism and stuff that probably has a list of like the ratio in regards to what like season 1 shows that get renewed and cancelled. I'm sure there's something. I don't know if it's 50-50.
Well, somebody just talked about, I don't remember what show it was, but something recent. The second season came out. I'll have to find it. Maybe I'll remember while we're talking about it. But the first season was kind of slow. The second season has been received very well because the story, they had the foundation of season 1.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but I'm just telling you what was said about it. And the point they were making was that a lot of times the first season sets as a foundation when you have shorter seasons, when you only have like 6-8 episodes. You can only really build the foundation up, and you need that second season to flesh out those characters. And that's what happened with the show. I wish I knew which one it was. But my point is that I feel like The Acolyte could have been that show. Like we had the foundation of that first season. The second season could have really, the ones that were still alive, they could have fleshed out those characters a little bit.
Well, that was the thing. It had everything set up for season 2. Like it just had major growing pains. Like I should always think back to when I think of growing pains is Legend of Tomorrow. Like it starts off really, really.
Yeah.
But Acolyte was like even worse. Like I think the first 3 episodes of Acolyte are like bad. Like
we really watched a whole different show because I do not feel that way in the slightest.
Yeah, but if the Acolyte presented its ass to you to go yum yum yum, like you'd be non-stop. Like,
is that true, Dara? Is that true? Is that true?
Fuck yes, absolutely. With a bib on, right? I don't care.
No bib. That's how messy it would get.
For me, there were episodes of The Acolyte that I absolutely loved. Episode 5, Chef's Kiss. I love that fucking episode.
Isn't it
and
4?
I like the characters that. No, 5 is the big. Like 4 is the cliffhanger, I think.
Oh, 3's the shit one of man, and then 4's the one where it cliffhangers, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so it is 5. I was thinking of 4. So yeah.
So for me, I pretty much Saul. Also, I know we weren't going to get him in season 2, but loved him in season 1.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
I love Jackie. I love just about every single character that we had on there, and they did a really good job of
killing them off.
Well, no. I mean, like they did a good job in a short span of time of making you care about the characters before anything happened to them, and also it's very bold of a show. We haven't really seen this since Game of Thrones, maybe The Boys to some degree, where they're willing to just get rid of a character and that's it. They're gone. Like that, they're not coming back. You know. And I do appreciate that they took that step with the show because it did make the stakes matter. And that's another thing that we haven't seen a lot in Star Wars. How many times do characters come back in Star Wars that are dead, whether as a Force ghost or a Vision or something like that? Like they always come back. And I'm not saying they wouldn't have done that with the Acolyte, but as far as I can tell, they had no plans to do that with the Acolyte.
No. Yeah, no,
I appreciate that about it. You know, I don't need TV, and I need to reiterate this, and everybody in the chat, and I'm going to talk about Marissa's comment as well. I don't need a TV show to be perfect for me to give a fuck about it. That's just the reality of it.
Well, yeah, you love
I just have to. Right, exactly, right. I just have to love a show enough to want to watch the show. Yeah. Because if you are looking for perfection in everything, nothing is ever going to be good enough for you. And that's just a reality that a lot of people don't want to accept. If you're watching a show and you're expecting a show to be 10 out of 10 every single episode, every single week, I don't know what show you're looking at. I don't know any series for me where every single episode was absolutely perfect. I know seasons of TV that I think are perfect. If you go back and you think about it, like for example, we're going to use The Flash season 1, right? There are some rough spots in The Flash season 1. However, the show is so good as a package, you tend to overlook some of the rough spots because you love what the show said, what it did, the story from beginning to end. And I think in modern criticism of TV shows, we've gotten into this hyperbolic space where you micro analyze an episode of TV and you forget that you're supposed to be looking at the show as a season of television, not an individual episode.
It's a chapter of a book. You don't read the chapter 4 and go, this is fucking shit, despite episode chapters 1, 2, and 3 being pretty good. You know?
Yeah. So
do you think that people that are talking about The Acolyte actually watched it, or
I think they watched. I think that,
a lot of people that I criticized adamantly said they did not watch the show. They were just.
Well, I think a lot of even the haters, they probably do watch it, but they watch it through. I was going to say rose tinted glasses, but
I can tell you for a fact.
What's the color of hell?
I know what you're saying, Paigey, and you. But I'm telling you, the people that I criticize outwardly said they were not watching the show when they were criticizing it. So I know for a fact a lot of them.
So they were just watching clips out of context.
Yes.
And stuff like that.
Yes.
And that even goes back to what we were saying at the front. Like some people were hating it on day one. Like they didn't even know what the show is. They didn't know anything about it. But they were like, "Well, it's a black woman, so it must be bad, right?" Like that's just, they'll never say that. But like, it's
I think that's the issue. I think that's the issue with people just blindly say stuff because I saw that statement from her. I'm like, of course, people shouldn't be targeting you just because of what you look like or what you represent or whatever it is. But the issue is it takes that it just completely wipes out any of the, I think, very valid criticism of the show and just the nuance around it where you can say, yeah, I didn't like this, but I really like this.
But that's why I love
I think episode 5, 6. How many episodes did it have?
8.
It was 8.
So I think 5, 6, and 8 are solid episodes of TV, if not very good episodes of TV. 7 shits the bed at the end a bit. It doesn't really start the finale that well.
3 was the worst episode of the season, in my opinion.
3 is
7 should have been tied together.
Yeah.
3 is just, I don't even know. I was going to say it's like Eric's attempted different accents, but it's even worse than that. It's really, really bad.
I want to point out, though, people like to do revisionist history when they talk about this. And they want to act like this kind of stuff doesn't happen prior to in the microcosms of the internet that they're in. Kelly Marie Tran. Do we not remember the harassment that she received for being part of Star Wars and how much shit she dealt with? Amazingly, it's not because she's not a white person. It's because it's just bad writing, right? That's what the issue is. It's bad writing. Well, what about over here? John Boyega. Obviously a character that everyone says we all loved him. He should have gotten more time in the films because he was such a great character. Yeah, that's not what you were saying when he was first cast. I remember people exploding and getting mad because they thought he was the main character and they were wondering how a black stormtrooper could exist and how that black stormtrooper could be a Jedi. I remember all of that discourse online.
Can you, because obviously I don't really care too much about Star Wars. I don't really know too much about the lore. What is... Because obviously in the original ones, they didn't show stormtroopers, did they? What they look like.
Did you watch the prequel series, Paigey? Did you watch the prequels?
Yeah, but they're not. Aren't they?
He's talking about 4 to 6. He's talking about 4 to 6, right?
Yeah, so what? Aren't a stormtrooper meant to look like Boba Fett or Jango Fett? Sorry,
there was that was the entire Clone Wars was that era of stormtroopers.
Yeah,
no. By episode 4. By episode 4, it's just all people.
It's just like mercenaries. It's just like being an army.
You could say 4, 5, and 6 started out with normal people just being hired. But
hold on, what do you mean by normal people?
He means not clones. That's
not clones.
Okay, clonist. Okay, just
he's being clonist. He's being clonist. He's being a clonophobe.
And then when 1, 2, and 3, Lucas was like, "Hey, let's make them all clones."
So it's just a way of obviously because a lot of places in the Star Wars universe look like arse. Oh god, you got to hustle.
Tatooine or Hoth or any.
So they probably they probably go and just look for people to become stormtroopers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
just be hey, I'll do it.
Well, I mean, there's probably a situation where they go to planets and say, "Hey, you have to." Give
Is
us
that
X
the
amount of
issue
people
with them
to
not doing back? is that like because I didn't know that, but I still don't care too much about Star Wars, to be completely honest. But is that a fault of the movies by not? Because do they address that in?
What do you mean?
movies?
Do they address what?
Like do they address like what a stormtrooper is? Because then obviously the episodes 1 or 2 and 3, I guess.
Paige, you watch the same movies we all watch, don't you? Do you remember what happened?
No, because it was fucking like almost.
There was a
10 years
big
ago.
battle about the clones and how that affected the Empire.
Yeah, no,
and
I'm talking about the stormtrooper aspect. Like, do they
Right.
clarify in the films like stormtroopers are just randoms?
They are not clones by the time we get to.
Yeah, no, but
episode
do
4, 5, and
they
6.
say that like they are just randoms? Like, I think that's
Yeah,
that's the thing.
that's
I'm
addressed in the Clone Wars.
Oh, so the animated show.
I will
Yes.
say that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no.
I meant like the main stuff, like the actual.
I don't think I
the
don't
actual-
I don't know if there's any
the
definitive
stuff
line in
that
a movie
people
that says
actually
that, no.
watched. Like that's the yeah.
I was going to say, like they, like in Clone Wars, the animation, they clarified that the clones actually have different personalities.
Yeah, I mean they would.
Yeah,
that
but
would
they
make
still
sense
look
because
the
they're not
same. They're all
copies.
they all
Yeah.
look like
They're like a
tomorrow
bunch of twins, basically. Like
Yeah.
pretty
It's like
much.
Eric and Bo
Well, the thing is, we see the people in charge and just assume the stormtroopers are the same, just lower, quote unquote, lower class.
I
Yeah,
literally thought Paige was going to say Eric, Eli, and Babyface.
Oh my gosh, the Bad Batch really dives into the hiring real people aspect. Yeah, that's a really good series, by the way. Bad Batch. We do have some super chats. I will address those in a second, but I just want to finish this list here. Moses Ingram, you suck, loser. You're a diversity hire. You won't be loved or remembered for acting.
That's a way to start a conversation. That's my
now we
opening
have
conversation to
now
Eric
we
and
have
everybody coming in.
Amandla with John Boyega acknowledging that she's dealing with it too. So my question would be for everybody who says that we need better writing, why is it always the minority characters that get criticized for having bad writing? Why are they the ones that get criticized for that? Why is it not anyone else, just them? You know, women, people of color, characters that might be perceived to be queer. Like, why is that the ones that get attacked for that? So,
I will say, like, Ewan McGregor basically made what we all feel with these people that are throwing death threats at actors for playing a role is you're not actual Star Wars fans.
Well, that's the thing is I think if you get offended that they're calling out people behaving badly, then are you the person behaving badly or are you not? You know what I mean? That's what I always think.
The thing is, it's like as a Star Wars fan, right? I sit and play the MMORPGs. I sit and spin lightsabers in my spare time. I play all the games and all the nonsense, right? I do everything. So the time that
nonsense.
No. Fuck's sake. All of the time that you felt was too slow, or that you lamented in spending it in like episode 3 and I think 6, right? I thrived in those parts. Yeah. I loved those parts, and the time that they spent building the universe, the 100 years prior, I was there for all of it. I just had me engaged, and I loved all of the characters and the payoffs that kept coming throughout the series. Just insane.
I guarantee you're one of those guys that actually go to like Walmart, where there's revolving doors, and just move your fingers to like you're using the force.
You say you're one of the people that goes.
You say it like you don't, okay?
Oh,
everybody does. Everybody does it.
There we go.
I did it once when I saw 4.
Try and shame me.
Defunct says they're held to a higher standard by bigots. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. But moving forward with that, I really hope that what my goal is going into next year, because I know we got more Star Wars properties coming out, things like that, is I'm going to try my best to uplift the shows a bit more and try to sort of counteract the negativity as best I can by putting out like content specifically.
We need a sequel to the Vegemite I didn't swallow video. That's what
you think that would. You think that would stop the bigotry if I made a
arguably like yes, mainly because you could like vomit on screen or something, and like then you get abused and not everyone else.
Okay, yeah. Well, that makes sense. I'll
South
take it.
Texas Shark said, "I do it when I'm pushing cart."
Oh yeah, that's funny
Yeah,
too.
come on.
So Cody with a $5 super chat here says people were making very strange comments about RDJ's payday for Doomsday and saying it could fund season 2 of The Acolyte. It's very much strange. So from what I understand, that money was for both films, right? Wasn't that for Doomsday and Secret Wars?
I think there's a lot of things where people just said he's going to get paid for Doomsday, but like he's obviously, I mean, clear as day going to be in Fantastic Four. Like that's so obvious. Doomsday and then obviously Secret Wars. So I mean, him being in there, like what night was it? 95 million or something, or 90 million?
No, 100 million.
movies.
100
Oh
million.
well, sorry, 100 million. Sorry, I missed 5 million. 100 million for 3 movies, so an average of 33 million, where he's probably going to bring in, I think for Fantastic Four, he could arguably bring in like an extra 150 million box office for that movie.
Yeah.
Just if his character is in there.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
they market him.
And obviously
Like, I've heard
Doomsday.
people say it's like a post-credit scene, and that's the case.
Well, the
it's
thing
probably
is,
not.
they could easily just do the whole No Way Home thing. Oh no, he's not in it. But here's an absolute epic tease that he's actually in it without showing him.
I think they've actually found a really good balance of like not saying it, and then when the movie comes out that weekend, people are like, "So and so is in the movie," and then the next weekend, everybody goes to see it. So it's kind of like a word of mouth thing.
What's funny is it started with it's going to be more than the Russo brothers, and now it's 95. Oh well, it was 95 million, and now it's 100 million. I'm like, by the time 2026 comes out, you know, when it actually comes out, I think it's going to be like 150 million.
Well, they're probably just rounding up, like 100 mils is to clean a number. But I did see that, like people were complaining, and they brought up the American fiction writer saying, "Oh, don't get." But I mean, if he's bringing it in for the company, it's an investment. It's an investment from Disney and Marvel.
Absolutely, I feel
100
like
million,
look,
and we could bring in an extra 500 million just from him being in these movies.
regardless if you like the casting, if you dislike the casting, if you have an issue with him not being Iron Man, if you have an issue with the ethnicity stuff, whatever it might be.
It's $1 billion movie.
It's $1 billion.
Yeah.
Those 2 movies are going to make $1 billion. So
No,
that is what the studio's thinking.
Both of those Avengers movies are probably $2 billion. And then
Oh,
Fantastic Four,
that's $2 billion.
and then Fantastic Four, if he's in it, $1 billion.
Yeah,
and also
look, James Gunn must have a sweaty ass after he saw the RDJ announcement, because like fuck, because a lot of people were like doubting that Fantastic Four movie, and then the RDJ thing came out, and he's Doom, probably going to be in Fantastic Four, and he's like shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's opening 2 weeks before that, and people are going to be saving their money.
What were you saying, Darren?
We also just need to readjust the budget we're putting into these Disney Plus shows. Like, if that's the budget for like The Acolyte, we need to trim down the budget for these shows, because I think
Or make them a movie. Just make
make
them
it a movie. Yeah. Like I think, you know, I think we're starting to fix up some of my problems with these Disney Plus shows. Right? We got showrunners now, show Bibles, all that stuff's really cool. You know, if you look back to shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they would do, 10 times what these like Disney Plus shows are doing on like a quarter of the budget, 20 episodes a season. Like, we don't need these gigantic budget for these TV shows. Even like look back at the Arrowverse shows. Yes, they didn't always look the best, but obviously, if you just added like a little bit more budget to those shows, they would have looked great.
I will say that it needs to be somewhat continuity wise, like
continuity. I don't know if that's
well, I mean, like, well, I'm trying to say it needs to be like similar to the movies in the way, because if you have Hulk,
I think the word you're looking for is fidelity. It needs to have fidelity compared to
well, no, quality. The quality needs to be the same, because of like if you have the
which
Hulk,
one is it? 3Dub? Is it
I think
continuity? Is it fidelity? Is it quality?
I think it's quality. Quality of like the CGI being the same.
Okay, yes, that's the quality.
Sure.
Got it. All right.
Because if you have the Hulk downgraded and then he comes in the movie like all like more like put like $100 million on him, I'm like, there's continuity error right there.
Sure,
Right.
and,
No, that makes sense.
and like also like She-Hulk, okay, yeah, having that be a bigger budget, but then like Falcon and the Winter Soldier probably doesn't need to be as much as She-Hulk, kind of thing.
Right.
Like I feel like there's places you can trim the budget. Secret Invasion should not have been as much as it was. You know. To be fair, that was done in COVID as well, so that probably tripled the budget.
And didn't help that you had Samuel L. Jackson. So
that's true, but still,
Samuel L. Jackson was probably part of the big ticket price on.
Wasn't it like 500 million or something crazy? Like it had an insanely huge budget.
Yeah, I saw a comment here. I'm just gonna highlight this for a second because I do want to address it. This is subjective, right? So like, it's not being a shill if you enjoy something that somebody else doesn't like. That's literally not what a shill is. A shill would be forgiving companies or properties for doing bad things and trying to make excuses for them. That's not the same as liking something and acknowledging that it's got weak elements in it. Like I said, I'm not saying The Acolyte is perfect, but I enjoyed the show. That's literally not shilling.
Man of Steel was like not great, but you like it.
If you're gonna make an accusation, at least make it.
Are you just trying to back up that Eric has bad takes? 3W.
Well, I think he also likes Thor 2, right?
I do like Thor 2: The Dark World. Yeah,
not helping Eric.
Yeah,
I don't like
really
Love
good,
and Thunder though. I don't like Love and Thunder. So
Who
and I
doesn't?
don't like Secret Invasion.
And you absolutely love, because you even when saw it in theaters in IMAX, Inhumans. You love Inhumans.
I distinctly remember not loving Inhumans.
I think you might be doing retro.
No, I think if you go back and you look at my reviews, you can clearly see that I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, I remember saying,
but that was when you were edgy. That's when you weren't woke. You were like,
look. See, this is what I'm saying. When two people understand each other, that's what I'm saying. Like, Man of Steel was great. What do you mean, 3Dub? What are you trying
what
to say?
do you
about
mean,
Man of Steel?
3Dub? Can you explain why you don't like Man of Steel?
It's too dark for me.
Oh, okay. Well, you can lighten up the colors on your TV.
No, I mean it's the Dark Knight. They basically copied the Dark Knight tone.
Oh, so it's like Batman, but Superman.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. You can't fix that with the settings on your TV, so I'm afraid that just means you're gonna have to.
Batman bought the bank, so he owns the tone.
It's really funny to me because Batman and Spider-Man are the two most profitable superheroes in the entire world. Like literally the most popular ones. It's just wild to me that Batman is more popular than Superman. I don't know why.
You can have a dark Superman in a light tone. It's like basically
what a dark Superman in a light tone. 3Dub. What are you talking about?
You can have a black suit Superman, and as you've seen in Supergirl, with Tyler Hoechlin, you can have a light tone Superman that's dark.
That sounds mildly racist to me. I'm not totally sure, but
I'm talking tone wise. I'm talking story tone wise.
I know. I'm just messing with you. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for all of the pop culture news that we have. So at this point, if anybody has any story, I mean, do you have something we can talk about?
We're skipping the elephant in the room. The big conversation of the day.
What's the big conversation of the day?
What three out of those three movies? Which one's gonna flop?
Which one? Which three?
Didn't
movies?
you say that on Twitter?
Jurassic World,
Superman, or Fantastic Four.
Jurassic World.
Oh,
they're all releasing within
Superman.
3 weeks of each other or something.
Superman. If I had to pick one, I would say Superman. Only because if RDJ is connected to Fantastic Four,
Bring it up.
it's going to make money.
Do you have the tweet?
I don't have the tweet, but I can find it.
I can send it.
Yeah, I saw.
I
I bet
got a retweet of it.
All right.
Yeah,
okay, send it
you
over
do
to
it
me.
because I can't find it.
I think anything Jurassic Park related is a guaranteed $1 billion movie.
Yeah,
most likely. So
I'm hoping they'll move Fantastic Four. If I'm gonna be honest, like I think if Blade doesn't make that November date, I could see them being like, all right, let's throw that at the end of the year, because Thunderbolts is May, so Thunderbolts should still be in theaters by the time Fantastic Four comes out, right?
When is it? What's the date the Thunderbolts is out?
It's May 2nd.
Yeah.
No, it's July, so they have to have a strong box office run. It'd probably just be exiting, maybe maybe around the time of Jurassic Park, maybe.
I sent.
Are you? Okay. I think that would you send it on Twitter?
No,
I just sent it in the private chat.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute, it didn't pop up yet. All right, hold on. All right, here we go.
I think Jurassic World, because it's
You think Jurassic World is gonna flop?
No.
Well, yeah. If
dinosaurs people love their dinosaurs.
Yeah, but after the first three, you kind of done.
They said that about all of them, and the
whole trilogy sucked, and people still watched every single one of them. They don't.
The third
care.
movie was completely arse and had bad reviews before the movie came out and made $1 billion.
I don't know how that made $1 billion. It just happened somehow.
I do like the premise for this because it sounds like it's trying to go back to the original feel of the Jurassic Park. movies where it's not overpopulated with humans.
You think they could move Superman up? You think they could
I-
move it to like June or something?
I think that's honestly, I think July 11th, because I know it's like meant to be like James Gunn's birthday. Not James Gunn, his dad's birthday, I think it is. And he said that that was just a coincidence. So maybe he's now got like a connection to that. Bullshit, it's a coincidence. It probably
These
was
movies, the Jurassic World movies together have made over $3 billion. So
just Jurassic World, not
just
Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
World. You're
Not
not
Jurassic
counting the Park
Parks.
series.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's a good competition for DC versus
I-
Marvel.
I think because Fantastic Four's obviously got this whole question mark of like, hold on, they just started production like 2 weeks ago or something. Are they going to come out? They probably do, especially because we also don't know like the aesthetic stuff. If it's very practical, then that means there's not a lot of VFX stuff afterwards. If they're going very heavy practical.
Oh
wise.
shit, Cody dropping some heat here. It's got the original Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
writer.
it's
Yeah,
got
it
Michael.
does.
Well, it's not Michael Crichton. It's got the screenwriter.
So I just looked up like what's coming out June of 25. So we have The Ballerina, which is like the John Wick spinoff. We have How to Train Your Dragon and Elio, which is like the like Pixar movie. That's June 13th. So that's also Disney. You have Megan 2.0 and apparently an untitled Sony and Marvel Universe movie. I don't know if that's
That was probably
true.
your favorite, your one that you're looking forward to. What was it El Muerto or whatever? it
Yeah,
was?
whatever.
Oh yeah, that we're probably right.
So I mean,
It's
they
gonna-
could maybe they could push like Elio up a month, like to May or something. And then
Next
have,
summer is gonna be crazy for movies. Get ready to like.
That whole Jurassic World there. 'cause
Think
it's the
about this.
first one.
We're gonna go on the high end. No, we'll go on the low end. We'll say $15 a pop just to go to see these if you're going in like an area. So that's already those three movies already $45 to go see the movies, not counting food, whatever, blah blah blah, or any movies that you're going to see in June or movies you're planning to see in August. So one of these is definitely going to be affected by people's wallets.
Do you
One
think?
of these will.
Do you think it's the reason why 2025 is so jam packed is because of the actors and writers strike?
100%.
Cody says he believes Fantastic Four might move to November.
That's what I think too.
It depends. It probably. I think with a lot of movie moves and whether it goes forward or gets pushed back and stuff, it just depends how it goes along. Like we don't know the schedule and stuff. And I mean, they held that date even going into Comic-Con when they had started filming, so they easily could have moved it. It'd be interesting to see like the whole thing because essentially, especially with like Warner Brothers and Superman, obviously we still got like it's only just about to enter September. But the closer you get to it, like especially once we enter 2025, it's a big game of chicken. It's like just how long do you get close because you don't want to put your trailer out and say July 11th, and then have to chuck a DC in what was it last year, 2023, and when all those movies were coming out 2022, and then they had to change to 2023 because for some reason they just put the movies back.
I also think it has something to do with like the what they're trying to tell, and if, for instance, Fantastic Four gets pushed back after like Secret Wars, then the story wouldn't make sense.
No,
Well,
they won't do
before
that. They won't
Secret
do
Wars.
definitely
It'll
won't
come
do that.
before
No,
Doomsday and stuff like that.
Yeah, they would
100%.
push back Doomsday if they had to.
But if they're close to like Doomsday, it wouldn't. It would bomb basically because Doomsday would.
No, the
make
closer
more-
it gets to it, the
make
probably
money.
more money it made.
Yeah, I think it would make more money
Like
if it was
Captain
closer
Marvel.
to the film. Yeah.
Captain Marvel made $1 billion because it was
Like
so
if
close
Fantastic
to
Four came out
Doomsday.
and the very next movie was Doomsday, it would guarantee Fantastic Four would make a ton of money.
They have a
We
movie
guarantee
set like
it.
a month after Secret Wars, and I'm curious what
Then,
that. It's like 1 or 2 months after Secret
Then
Wars.
I'm trying to
What is
figure out-
that?
It wouldn't be
I'm trying-
Spider-Man because that's Sony. That's a Sony
No.
movie, wouldn't it?
And Sony's rumored to be, or I guess Spider-Man's rumored to be like in the middle, so like after Doomsday. Yeah,
and they'll
after
set it
Doomsday,
in
prior
the
to.
Doom World thing.
Then hey
Yeah.
Darren, what do you mean by breaks then?
What do you mean?
Yeah, because you basically made a comment on Twitter about like having it air.
Yeah, I think there. I don't like that idea. I think a film should have room to breathe. I
Yeah,
don't like even the like Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four thing. I don't think that like one should be leaving theaters and one going in. I think there should be a good gap in between them. I think that's where like fatigue comes in, where it's like, oh, I just got done watching a Marvel.
Yeah,
I gotta
you
go
don't even have
back.
time to process the events
Yeah.
of the movie. Like people theorize movies for weeks after they see it. Like you literally are thinking about it. So we've talked about that before, like overlapping. But then in the same situation, you don't want to pull a WandaVision into Multiverse of Madness because you have that big gap between the two properties, and people forget or they don't have time to go back and watch something.
Miss Marvel and
the Marvels.
The Marvels.
Yeah.
I wasn't even a fan of like
people that-
San Diego Comic-Con the weekend that Deadpool came out because I kind of feel like the Robert Downey thing like hampered the hype of Deadpool. Obviously, Deadpool still did plenty well. That's not an issue. But also, it's like, oh, no one's talking about Deadpool this weekend because it's all Robert Downey. So,
I'm gonna pull up. Everybody can disavow this, but I have an opinion about this. I'm gonna pull it up on screen because I just have something to say in there. It's not bad.
Well, hold on.
Did
we all say what movie we think's gonna? If you had to choose,
I said it for me personally, it would be Superman. I think Superman would be in trouble.
I agree with you, just because those two have like Jurassic Park's probably going to make $1 billion.
Yeah,
Fantastic Four.
And RDJ even rumored to be If RDJ is even rumored to be in Fantastic Four, that's guaranteed to make a ton of money.
Yeah, and Superman, I don't think is guaranteed $1 billion. Like, I think it's probably if it does well, I think it's probably going to sit around like 758.
I don't think it needs to.
And I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy if it hit 758 because I've seen some shockers with DC recently in regards to box office.
And like, if it only has like a 150 budget, it doesn't need like this like $1 billion box office. Like, it just needs to make enough.
Yeah, we don't know the box office. Not the box office, obviously, hasn't come out, but the production budget. Someone was trying to say that it was like 250. I'm like, if it's 250, that's ridiculous. There's no way Warner Brothers would have allowed that.
What was Man of Steel's box office numbers?
Like 700?
Yeah, it was like just under 7. It's like high sixes, like 680, 690 or something.
I think the Superman will get there. Like, I don't think it's going to make $1 billion, but I think it's going to.
I hope so, but they really need to nail promotions for this and make it very clear that this is a different vibe because the general audiences are just going to, in their minds, they're going to connect it to whatever DC has been doing.
There's so many variables to it, though. Like, so much more now than there would have been, back in 2013? Like, there's so many... Like, now it's so much about, like, obviously, it's a new universe now. Marketing is going to be key. Reviews are going to be key. If it's, like, 60% on the Rotten Tomatoes, people aren't going to watch it. Like, they're like, oh, it's another shitty DC movie. It needs to have high reviews. Everyone's friends need to be like, yo, this new Superman movie, it's really cool. You have to go see it. Like, it needs that word of mouth. It needs, and again, also what it's up against is really going to help it. If this stays here, there's going to be families being like, okay, do we see Jurassic Park? Do we see Fantastic Four? Do we see Superman? They're not going to see all three. They're not. They can't afford that. They can barely afford one.
Because think about it, $45. I'm talking about one individual person going. We're talking about families of people, like husband, wife, and 3 kids trying to go see these movies. Like,
And, like, people like to be like, Marvel's dead. But, like, DC right now is not a known brand to the casual audience. Like, they don't trust DC. So if they're like, okay, do I want to see the MCU movie that I've been watching for the last 15 years that we can trust? You know, most people can trust that it's a brand they love.
Well, I mean, we just had Deadpool and Wolverine that made over $1 billion. So, I mean, it's people want to act like everything is down in the dust for Marvel, but it's not. I mean, they've only had one real financial failure, and that was the Marvels.
Yeah.
So... All right, so I want to address this comment quickly. It's going to be very quick, but I'm going to address it because they're very vocal in the chat. Just the first part about this. Attacking people for not promoting LGBTQ is wrong because of culture. I want to say this and make it very, very clear. Personal, individual human rights is always going to be greater than culture. People should not be oppressed because of where they're born or the people around them. So you never use culture or location to take away individual human rights. That just doesn't work for me. And if you believe in human rights, you cannot also believe in cultural oppression. So, there we go. That's all I wanted to say. And no one here has to agree with me. That is my own personal opinion. I just want to put that out there.
I think he might be talking to you, very dumb when he says that. But anyway.
I don't have any comment on.
Basically, don't say any. 3Dub, do not fall for the bait. Just don't say anything. Just let it go.
90% of that I didn't understand. So.
Okay. Okay. So, what are all of your top 3 favorite snacks? And this is a good segue into my next.
I'm
segment.
gonna have weird snacks though because I'm in a different country.
That's okay. What are they?
Oh, I heard weed snacks. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh,
Wow.
Very open about
Oh
it.
no, I said weird.
Weird. Yes, but I heard weed. I was like, oh my gosh, all right.
No, that's Eric.
Wow.
That's Eric.
Thank
Like-
you,
like
South
edible.
Texas Shark.
You
for
like
this.
edibles, huh?
Hold on, I'll do the old Google image. I gotta think of my top snacks. Okay, I've got one.
Okay.
So I'll.
Pringles, Reese's Cups. For me, those are the first two. And then probably the one that gets me in the most trouble, which is the Sour Patch Kids, because they give me heartburn. But I love, those are my three favorites.
I think mine are gummy worms. Not in particular order. Gummy worms. And then Three Musketeers, and last one Reese's.
Okay.
Okay. I just like I'm a sucker for like the hot snacks. So like a hot Cheeto or like a Taki is always kind of top of my list in terms of what I'm getting. And like there's so many different versions of it now. Like every chip brand has their own hot one. I'm like, I guess I'm trying this one now. Let's see how this is.
Paigey, what are yours?
Um.
You and Darth are gonna have ones that we probably never heard of, but go ahead. And say
Yeah, that's probably the biggest issue is that we're gonna have some varying degrees of
Bizarre names.
Yeah,
I see Oreos. Oreos are good too.
Oreos
I love
are good.
Oreos.
Trying to think of what my favorite chips are. What are my favorite chips?
It can't be this difficult. 3 snacks that you like.
No,
What are
because
they?
it's
Like-
between two. It's between two flavors of chips. What's my favorite one? It's a hard one because you got to have a think about it. It's like, oh, is it?
Not me, because I know what
Okay.
they were right away for me.
They don't make them anymore. They sort of seem to like they come back in and out of like, whether they make them or not. But I'm going to show you. So I'm going to bring them up on screen.
Oh Jesus! Why is it always extra with you? Like,
I feel like Paigey is one that like sips the wine and just like stirs. and goes,
Okay.
yes.
This
All
is
right.
snack number one.
All
Okay.
right.
This is my first snack. This is the chocolate snack. This is milk chocolate licorice bullets. Do you have licorice bullets over there?
no, I've never heard of these before.
Oh my god, they are so good. You gotta you don't even have to love licorice because it sort of gets. If you
They
have good
look like
chocolate-
something else we have here in the United States, but I can't put my finger on it. Honestly.
Okay, so it's literally like a little thing of licorice, but it's coated in chocolate. It's like Dara Lee's like a great chocolate brand, so it helps. But they're my flagship bullets, but you have to get them on special because they're
We
expensive.
have chocolate covered raisins or cherries.
That's true. We do. Have
Yeah, we
those.
have those over here, but they're like it's like sultanas. Like we don't. Yeah, but I love licorice in general. But this is like next level. So that's
Okay.
snack number
So
one.
that's one. All right.
That's the chocolate snack. This is the chip snack. No, sorry, this is the lollies or candy in America. This is the candy snack. These are sour squirms, which are sour.
Oh, these are, I
worms.
actually would love these because I like sour gummies. So,
But these are natural confectionery company.
Okay.
Lollies. They're obviously.
this
they're
reminds me of like a
Australian. They're New
better
Zealand
version of
as well.
Sour Patch Kids because I think Sour Patch Kids are probably bad for you.
Gummy worms.
I mean, this is basically like a trolley, like we would have.
Yeah, they're sort of like the trolley worms are bigger. They're like probably like a bit the size of a gummy worm, but they're bigger than those trolley ones. And then this is the chip snack. But they like discontinued them. I don't know why. That's why it says return a favorite. If it's a favorite, fucking keep it. Why do you take them away? But these are so good. Honey baked ham, kettle chips. You have kettle over there, but it's like is it like different packaging or something like that?
Yeah, I like kettle chips. They're probably my favorite next to Pringles.
Yeah.
So
So
I don't have that
annoying. They
flavor,
take them away.
Have you tried kettle popcorn?
Nah, I've seen like I think when I was over there I saw it, but we don't. Oh, actually, I think they might do like that brand kettle with popcorn, but I think it's shit. Like, yeah, they also do like another one like crackers or something like that. I don't think they're very good. Yeah, honey baked ham, they're amazing. They're the best chips ever. Best chips I've ever had anywhere from anywhere in the world.
Anything with ham tastes good. So
It pretty much just tastes like bacon, but like not overly salty, but with like a sweetness to it. But yeah, that's top 3 pag snacks.
it automatically made me flash back to Moana. To in the trailer, boat snap upgrade.
I do like the chili ones as well, defunct. I remember because my mum likes them, so they're always there. Lime and black pepper, I don't mind, but I wouldn't buy them. I'd eat them if they were at someone else's place, but I wouldn't buy them.
So, Darth Bunyan, what are yours? Do you know? Oh, you got to pull up.
So this is one of them.
All right.
That's one. They're really tasty.
Barbecue.
They're super cheap, and they're so nice.
Those look good.
I think. Are they like puffy?
Yeah, very puffy. Yeah. Just saturated.
Over here. I think there's something similar over here, but
They look like waffles.
So that, and I love a cherry bakewell from Mr. Kipling. And then either a Milky Bar or a Rolo dessert yogurt.
Ooh, I love those. Those are good too.
Dessert yogurt. Oh, I think we have something.
Literally, I was not hungry before we started the stream, but now I'm getting hungry again, and so just putting that out there. Let's see here. There is a poll up, so if you can vote on the poll in the chat, that would be awesome.
Is that about the snacks or about something else?
No, it's about the movies we talked about. All right. All right. Here we go. This is the tier ranking for fast food places. This is gonna be a speed run here. So we have S, A, B, C, D. We all know what these colors mean. I'm not gonna worry about any of that stuff.
I'm notorious for having not gone to many restaurants, so this is going to be fun.
Well, you can just chime in on the ones that you've been to, or any of them that you may have. All right.
The first one
Yeah, go ahead. What were we gonna say, 3Dub?
The first one I have no clue about.
The rib crib.
Crib.
I don't know what that is either. Does anybody? Do you?
It might be like local to
Red
like a certain
Red
area.
Lockberry, no.
Okay, we're gonna put it in D only because I don't think anybody knows what that is. All right, Starbucks.
S. Yes, S.
You think it's an S tier?
Yeah.
In Australia,
here.
it's like
Especially
in Australia,
here.
it's like a C or a D, and it's the same as America. It's just that we make good coffee. We don't rely
S
on
tier? Starbucks?
I don't
Yeah,
drink coffee, so.
it actually wakes you. It really wakes you up.
Okay, so the only thing I get at Starbucks is the refreshers and the lemonade. So I don't know what the coffee's like.
The coffee? No, not the coffee. The lattes. The lattes are good. Like,
I don't know, 3Dub. I'm thinking like B or A for
well,
me.
here for me is S, but
I'm gonna put it in B, and you can continue to put it in S tier for you.
Yeah.
Me, it's S tier.
Whataburger. Where would y'all put Whataburger?
C.
Isn't that like a Texas thing?
It's a Midwest to West Coast thing.
What's funny is we're all mispronouncing it. It's actually what a burger.
Yeah.
Well, then put a space in there.
It can go to what a C too, because I don't think it's great. South Texas says easy S. You must love them. Maybe it's a regional thing.
I was going to say
what it is. So.
Yeah,
I've heard it's meant to be really good. Whataburger.
I have had it twice, and both times it was bad. But I don't know.
Is that a local one to you though?
People are saying S. No. I went out of town and I had it when I was out of town. So.
Were you in Texas?
Not in Texas, no.
Maybe it's really good in Texas.
You can move it up to B, actually. Be like fair.
Have you had it before?
Yeah. It is.
Are you telling me I've just had bad experiences from it?
Yeah, because I think it depends on the location.
Yeah.
In all of the restaurants I can see, I've had 2.
Okay. Well, we'll explain them to you as we go through the list here.
So Pizza Hut is about pizza, just letting you know.
That's one of them. That's one of them.
How is Pizza Hut where you are? Is it good or bad?
Depends where you go. But at the
point, I'm assuming Darth Bunyan's the exact same, where Domino's is better.
Oh, far superior.
I feel like they have pretty mediocre pizza. Like, it's not bad pizza, it's good, but also terrible service. Like, I've never had good service at Pizza Hut. There's like an hour for my food, and it's ridiculous.
Like I said last time, if this was childhood Pizza Hut, like when I was like,
it would be S tier. If it were childhood pizza, pan pizza, the little ones in the little boxes or whatever, if they were like they were back in the day, it would be S tier for me.
Modern day Pizza Hut is like a generous C. It's probably a D, but it's if I'm being
I'm going to put
generous.
it in C because it's just below average for me.
I'm just a coffee drinker, so
It's only good for the buffet at lunch.
Well, they don't have them in Australia anymore. They got rid of them.
Oh, really?
That's
no
why
way.
it was a bit better, especially when I was a kid.
Slim Chickens. Has anybody ever been here before?
I'm assuming that's going to be a play on Slim Pickens. Which
I've
probably
never
means
been
it's
there.
shit.
Checkers for me. Look, this is going to be controversial because it's Checkers
Wait.
and Rallies. It's both the same.
Do they have what was that joint?
What?
Voiders? What was the
What?
joint that you were going to go to on that road trip?
Rudders?
Oh my god!
It's not on there actually. I don't think.
Oh,
it's on there.
okay. Okay, I thought it
Um,
might have been.
Okay, so Checkers for me, this is going to be controversial, but if you get it fresh, like you get one of their fresh burgers with onion rings on the burger, it's fucking really good. I'm going to put Checkers in A tier for me.
What is it?
It's a burger place, but what's funny is I actually have one, but I haven't never been to one.
I think we have some here too.
They have a burger that you get where the onions on it are onion rings, or like fried onion rings on the burger, so it's really good.
Nice.
I
Look,
think
this is also.
Okay, I'm gonna have to bounce. Sorry, it's half.
Okay.
half sorry, but thanks for
See you
having
later,
me.
Darth. Have a good
Yeah,
night.
buddy.
Take care.
Wait.
Little Caesars. What did you say? D.
Yeah, isn't little. Oh wait, what? Like I said, it's about location. So
The
here,
Little Caesars, so the Little Caesars near me, if you get it, like I'm basing this on best possible circumstances because that's the way I feel it's fair to judge it for me. Little Caesars around me, if you get them fresh, like the hot and ready as soon as they come out of the oven, they're actually better than Pizza Hut.
I
in my
agree.
opinion.
It's
I
weird
guess-
because like it's some of the best pizza I've ever had, and also some of the worst. Like I've had
Yes.
it where it's like the worst. Do you guys have the like pretzel pizza? Like it's
Yeah.
like the pretzel. My
Yeah.
favorite kind of pizza. I've never had
it's
better
so
pizza.
good.
I'll be honest. Every single time I ordered Little Caesars, they delivered, so it came to
Oh,
me.
you
Oh,
can't.
yeah, it's
no. You have to
terrible.
pick
You have
it up
to-
yourself. Yeah.
You have to pick it up and eat it in the car because if it gets
Yeah.
any sort of coat, it's done. You're,
Or
you're done.
you could do like I do. I always do my oven at 350, cover it in foil, and heat it up just enough to let the cheese melt on it. That's really good too. I have learned the ways of reheating pizza. Applebee's is mid for me. It's not good or bad. I
Yeah.
put it like sit in the middle.
It's fine.
It's only because it's never awful, but it's never great. So I don't really have much of an opinion about it in that way.
Basic.
Eat my catfish. I've never had this before, so
Nope.
it almost looks like a
fucking
fake
dodgy.
place. It almost looks fake. Hold on.
We have a Bass Pro Shop, so I mean,
Hold on.
it's
Eat my
seems to-
catfish. I want to see if it's a real place. It is actually.
Isn't that song
That-
like,
that-
yeah, we
that-
fancy like Applebee?
That what's funny is
Is
that
that a
like,
false advertisement, that song?
that is very sexual if you think about it.
There's only 5 locations in the entire country, and they're all in Arkansas. So I don't know even why that's even on this list. But there
Is
it
Arkansas a shithole or is it? Like,
It's just
not-
nothing. There's
Yeah,
not a lot
perfect.
there. It's kind of a
Okay.
big empty state. Taco Bueno, so good taco. Never been there before.
Never been there.
Okay,
never
so Jersey Mike's for me is probably a B or a C tier.
I've had it. It's better than Subway.
Yes, I will agree with that. So
we
I'm gonna
have
put
them
it in
around
B.
here. I've just never had it.
I'm gonna put it in B.
We don't have
Okay,
them.
Mr. Beast Burgers. I have had them before. Has anybody else had them?
Nope.
They have them here, but it's a ghost restaurant thing. They just use other restaurants to
Oh,
make
it's
the burgers.
100% a ghost restaurant, but
Yeah.
it's made with the burgers the way they're designed by Mr. Beast. So it's like this.
Yeah, they just follow the
type of burger,
ingredients.
whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't even
So
know
I
we
don't
had
even
a
know if they're the same in every state.
It's
They might be
inconsistent.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's inconsistent.
So I'm putting it in the C because I've never had a great thing with it. I can't have seafood, so I don't know what Red Lobster.
Red
tastes like.
Red Lobster for me was A. Like
A?
it had good. It's like what basically here it's where rich people go for fancy food.
That's exactly what it is here. It's like, oh, we're going to expensive. Let's get a $50 like Red Lobster deal. But I would say I think they're an A, but
Alright.
their biscuits are like S tier. They have the
Yeah.
best
Okay.
biscuits I've ever.
So
had.
A for everything on the menu, but biscuits are S tier, so like a
Yeah.
separate thing.
Yes, they're
I
so
just-
good.
I only ever heard of Red Lobster and was like, oh, I might go because of Happy Gilmore because that dude just really wanted to go to Red Lobster.
For Christmas every year, my dad would go to like Red Lobster and get like 50 biscuits for like our
Oh
Christmas
my
party
god!
and
Now
make
I've got a
them
new
ready.
thing for my my Christmas party. Now I'm gonna be like, go
Oh,
to Red
yeah.
Lobster and get the biscuits.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I feel like this next one is going to be very weird for everybody because it's not consistent, I guess, for every place. But for me, McDonald's, I've had some of the worst food in my life at McDonald's, but if I can promise you this, again, I'm doing this based on literally picking it up and eating it as quickly as possible. If you get their food and it's fresh fries and the burger is freshly made, McDonald's is not that bad. Honestly,
No, if it's fresh everything, the ice cream machine is working. It's not fucked. The fries are nice and hot. They're nice and salted. That's also a very important thing. If they're nice and salted, and your burger is hot and not spat on, it's a very, very high B or a low A.
I will
it's
say
comfort food at this point.
I will
don't even
say
think
like
that good. It's just
Whataburger fries are better than McDonald's fries here. Whataburger quality of like how like much meat you get is better than McDonald's.
Oh, well, the thing about McDonald's is unless you get specifically their big, thick burgers, the patties are very thin. That's just the way it's always been. But
And
I will
they,
say,
and they do something that I've worked there, and I know that behind the secrets, they actually make you squeeze out the juices. That's like the best part of it.
Wait, at McDonald's?
Yeah, they make you squeeze out.
Well,
the
that's
flavor.
why. Because I had a McDonald's in America and it was dry as hell. It's not like that over here.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's a McDonald's literally around the corner from where I work. I go there when I get off work. Usually it's like 1 or 2 in the morning. When they make my burgers, because that's really the only place that's open. So if I'm hungry, that's the only place I can go other than Wawa. They don't do that at nighttime. They do it in the daytime, but they don't do it at nighttime. So if I get the burger at the drive-thru, it's a very juicy like burger. But if I get it in the middle of the day, it's usually dry. I don't know why that is.
Also, I found out they still serve the old burgers after they're expired.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. But their fries, for me, McDonald's fries are S tier if they're fresh and salted.
Especially if
someone,
especially if they order like 100 McDoubles.
Like as a kid, I used to think they were the best fries, and now just in like my area at least, they're just not as good anymore. They're just
McDonald's aren't the best fries here either. There's like a couple of places down here.
I don't think it's on this list. Let me look through here quickly. Yeah, we got a few to get through here. It's not on this list, but Fuddruckers for me has the best fries.
Is Fuddruckers? I was hoping Fuddruckers because I've been
Fuddruckers for me would be S tier, no questions, no comments, just S tier, 100%.
Five Guys for me would be the best fries, especially with
Five Guys is good for me when they cook them all the way through, but sometimes you get them and they don't deep fry them long enough. They just kind of
the Cajun fries are.
Five Guys is good if you want to take out a loan. that's all you do.
Okay, so Dairy Queen for me, there's 2 different Dairy Queens. There's the one that just does ice cream, and then you have the ones that do hot dogs and burgers.
Yeah.
Are you buying food at like a Dairy Queen though? Like I feel like I've never met someone that go to Dairy Queen and eat a meal.
I have done it when it's the only place. When there's nowhere else to go, I've done it before.
Okay.
I would say for me, it's not a place I would ever choose to go to for food. If it is the only place that I can go to, then that's where I'm going to go. But it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like at a B tier. It was more like a C tier for food.
And the
that's what I'm judging
quality
it on.
And the quality of Five Guys burgers is like.
Oh, but wait, Blizzards.
Was it? Sorry. I think ice cream's like a A or B.
Yeah.
Just because of Blizzards, you put it up.
Well, I mean, that's what you go there for, right? You go there
you're
for
not going for like
Blizzards,
a hamburger. You're like,
yeah, that's a good point.
I
when
love when they-
South Texas Char said the Blizzard are great, I was like, oh yeah, 100%.
What's funny is I love when they forget to do the Blizzards because you get a free Blizzard if they forget to flip it.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. But you've already paid at that point usually.
Yeah, but you get a free Blizzard. So
have you seen the videos where like they worked it there first and then go to like McDonald's and they would just flip the drinks and it was like, oh, sorry, I gotta go get your new one.
Oh, all right. Panera Bread has fallen off for me. It used to be really good. It's not great anymore.
Panera Bread here is not that great.
Chat, what do you think? Panera Bread. I'm curious what the chat thinks. Where should we put this? For me, it's going to be a C probably. But tell me if I'm wrong. Am I just getting like bad food or something from Panera? I feel like I've had bad experiences there.
For me, it's boring. It's like for old people.
Are you talking about Cracker Barrel?
No, I'm talking about like people. My parents go to that place. That's why.
Yeah, Panera C for me. I'm going to put it in C. Hooters food is just mid.
Let's go. Put it.
I feel like it's mid. It's mid or C. It's like B or C.
I mean,
people don't go to Hooters for the food. Like they just don't.
I'll say the waiters are S tier. So
I mean, yes. Okay. If we're arguing that Dairy Queen is for the blizzards, and we're arguing that Hooters is for the boobs, I mean that's what it's for. I'm gonna put Hooters in C because I don't think the food's very good. Chicken Express, I've never heard of it. So
nope, never.
I've only
Jack in the Box. Oh,
Never
I've
heard
only
of
seen
it.
I've only seen a Hooters once in Australia. I think it's out west in Sydney. I don't know. There's another one in
Jack in the Box.
So-
Never heard of it.
I've had it a few times. I was never really impressed. I'm gonna put it in C.
I've had it. I had it when I was over there. It was very
The fries
Shit.
are not great. Yeah.
It's like greasy. It was really, really greasy. That's what I remember.
Never heard of Larry's Pizza?
No.
That's the lobster.
Yeah.
What's that,
Moe's.
Oh,
I think Moe's is like a B tier for me.
Yep.
Honestly.
Yep.
They
What
do
is it?
wraps that I really like.
Oh.
It's like wraps and it's like a southwestern type
Never
place
heard
or whatever.
of Carl's either.
So Carl's is Hardee's. Carl's Jr. or Hardee's.
Yeah, I've had that. You know, they've gone into liquidation in Australia.
Well, they're doing restructuring here. We had 2 locally that closed down to get restructured into one building.
It's funny we have nothing in S tier.
Not yet, but I see a couple that are going to be in S tier.
Yeah.
Carl's it's like Hardee's. Carl's is B for me.
Why is it transparent?
Because the person that uploaded it didn't bother to get the right PNG.
That's a sus title of a restaurant.
Jimmy John's. Jimmy John's is like a Subway.
Oh, was it Jimmy Jones, like Jim Jones?
No, Jimmy John's. Yeah, God, don't do that, Paige. We're not trying to get demonetized.
They're so Kool-Aid there.
Jimmy John's is better. It's better than Subway.
Never had it.
I'm gonna put it with Jersey Mike's. It's about the same as Jersey Mike's. This might be an S tier for me. In-N-Out Burger.
Never heard of that.
We don't.
I've had
it. I like it. Wait, do you not like it? Is it not S tier for you, Paigey?
I think it's A because I don't think it's that great, but it's very good value.
Well, explain to me in taste reasons why it's not great, and I might agree with you. So tell me what it is that you don't like about it.
I still like it. I think it's A. I just don't think it's S. I think it's A for its what it is, and also I think it's good value.
Are you just an In-N-Out hater? Is that something you do? You go on
No,
the
if it was a
forums and
hater,
call
I'd have it
people
down
that
and
like
C and stuff. But I don't think
I feel like you're trying to diminish the S level.
I think putting it. I think putting it
feel
in
like
S.
he's an inside person. He's an introvert.
I think putting it at S
he
goes
doesn't like
along with
going
it.
out.
A lot of the people that say it's overrated. I don't necessarily buy into it being overrated, but I don't think it's S.
So
I
you're
think
trying to
it's-
bully me into lowering it to A, and you've achieved.
How many
your
times
goal.
have you
So
had
it's
In-N-Out?
Like 4 or 5 times. So
In your life?
yeah, it's not
Well, it's
very
only
common where I'm at.
It's only
so.
like West Coast, isn't it? There's not
Yeah.
many places like it's.
Raising Cane's. We just got one locally, and it's just mid for me.
I've heard it's
just
incredibly mid, and
Never
like we're just
heard
talking about overrated. I've heard that this is incredibly overrated.
Panda Express here for me is like a B.
I've had it. It was.
I think they're either B or C for me. We're gonna put it in B.
I put it.
If there is a Jin Jin's, it's going to Jin Jin's is going to be A. So
Yeah, I had Panda Express once when I was over there, and it was fine, but once again, it was good for value. They gave me like heaps of food for the amount of.
If we're talking about chicken in the USA, and the service sucks, but the chicken is great. That's
Can I
Popeyes.
tell you my Popeye story? Can I tell you my Popeye story?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us.
I
Tell
had
us
it
while we're
once
there.
over there. Okay. I thought it was really good as well. I'd probably put it like A. I'd probably put it A, but I'm fine with S because I know the quality I got. But I enjoyed my meal when I had it. I think I went to the Hood in LA to pick it up because it was just covered in like bulletproof things and like I went at like 5 o'clock to get it.
You went to the Hood?
I'm pretty sure because I think I went to the Hood because I think we drove like half an hour to get it because there wasn't a Popeyes near where we were staying in LA. We were staying in Santa Monica and there wasn't a Popeyes and this was the closest Popeyes. But we went there and it was like 5 o'clock and it was just like to buy the food, it was all behind this like massive like bulletproof glass and we'll look around like
you do realize that in the United States of America, that doesn't constitute as anything bad or good. There's a lot of places that now have behind bulletproof glass.
I was just like, I just wasn't too sure where we were. We were just following the map. We didn't look exactly where we were.
What do you classify as the Hood?
But the fact that it had all that thing there, I was like, what the hell?
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Like there are like literally where I live in my part of the city or whatever. It's just mostly like neighborhoods, like just regular neighborhoods. like down the street that I'm on. And if I go to CVS, they have deodorant, toilet paper, detergent, all locked behind bulletproof glass. So that doesn't really mean
like
anything in the United
McDonald's
States of
have that.
America.
Like that was the thing because I'd been into McDonald's and stuff like that. And this was the first one we went into, and I was like, "What the hell?" And it was just like to serve the food, they had to like put on this like lazy Susan thing and roll it around to get the thing, and we're like, okay, and it was fine because it wasn't like dangerous in there. Like we were talking to like a bunch of the people, and then we're waiting.
You obviously haven't seen the videos online of people fighting in fast food restaurants. Like go look on TikTok, you will see people literally fighting for their life in a fast food restaurant.
For me,
that was my experience at Popeyes when I got it, and then we took it home, and it was very good. I think I remember the potato and like the mashed potato and gravy being really good, and like the biscuits. I think it was Popeyes were the first biscuits I had in America. I think that were really good.
For me, hood is actually a bunch of gangs shooting each other.
I call the hood neighborhoods, but it was like that was the that was my first experience like at a Popeyes, and I was like, oh okay, this is interesting. But I wasn't there when they had the burgers.
You mean
like
ghetto?
No, it wasn't.
Let's
well,
not even. Let's
ghetto.
okay. We're traveling down the path that's just like. Let's not have this conversation.
Yeah,
so.
I might be able to like Google where exactly it was, which one I went to, but
I honestly don't care. All right, so the next one we're
Sounds
doing is
like you do care.
IHOP. I don't care.
You're the one that
It's
keeps
really
the
not that
conversation
important.
going.
We understand the story. Bulletproof glass and Popeyes. Got it. Totally got it. IHOP for me is probably for breakfast food is probably A, which is what I think a lot of people go there for. But the whole menu's probably B.
Yeah.
When I was eating it A, how I felt after, low B, high C, because it.
Okay. I feel comfortable putting it in B.
I had too much syrup with the pancakes. But I'll tell you what's really good when you get a milkshake there. Like they do it and they pour it. In the
they
glass,
do great
and
milkshakes.
They bring you the leftovers and it's pretty much an entire another glass.
Yeah.
Of the thing, and the milkshake was really good.
They're great.
Chili's for me is a C. Like
I've never had it.
Not that great.
Yeah, I feel like Chili's is under Applebee's, so it definitely would be a C for me.
S tier like theme song though.
Yeah, Chili's theme song is great.
Wait, is that the Chili's baby back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Baby back, baby back, baby back, baby. That one. Yes, that's Chili's.
Like fat bastard. I want my baby back.
Exactly, 100%. Okay, so I'm gonna. This might be controversial, but for my area, Waffle House is actually better than IHOP. I don't know if it is like that for everywhere, but for me, it's better than IHOP.
Is that the same as C's waffles, or are those two separate things?
I will say here it's terrible with the cleanliness of people using.
It's funny you mention that because ours got hit about 2 years ago for being unclean, and the Department of Health went in and did some stuff, and now they're really nice on the inside because they had to clean everything. So now they're really good.
Not just that, it's the people not wearing gloves and handling food.
Oh yeah, but that's all covered for us. It was all covered under the health department, like cleaning the grills, wearing gloves, doing all that stuff. So now it's good and it's safe, and you can go in and not die from bacteria.
Still not here.
So Arby's is weird for me. It's changed over my life. I hated it as a kid. I kind of was okay with it as an adult, but I'm gonna say Arby's for me in general is either C or D tier.
It's a D for me.
D for
They
me.
have the most
Yeah,
food.
I think it's. Ugh. All right, Chipotle.
Never
What
had
do we
it.
think about this?
Chipotle's like for me is a C.
I've never. I don't know how to talk about this without it being gross, but
Make it as
Chipotle.
gross as possible.
Chipotle fucks with your belly, if that makes any sense. Like I go there and I usually don't have a good experience. So
I like the spice. So
I like spice too, but there's something about their food that just makes it so you need to be near a facility, preferably one that you can use for a while. So I'm gonna put it in D because I like the food, but the feeling afterwards is not great.
That's C.
Oh, C, yeah. Well, I'll leave it in C. I mean. Captain D's. I can't have seafood. So does anybody know what this is? Any reference
nope.
to this or whatever?
It's D.
Never.
D.
D for Captain D.
Dunkin' Donuts used to be S tier for me, but it's not anymore.
I've never had their actual food. I've only got like a drink or a donut, so I don't know what their actual food tastes like.
It's sugar stuff. I think.
They kind of got mid donuts though. I'll be honest.
I'm gonna say mid. I'm gonna put it in B. It's mid.
The only donuts I got it there because it was in a shopping mall And I think we were waiting or some shit, and I got a little bag of like I know what you call like the things like in the like the donut balls, but it'd be like what the middle of the donut, like the
donut holes, probably.
They call that whatever. It was like a bag of them. They were just like cinnamon and stuff like that. And that was okay.
I will say Krispy Kreme is better than
yeah, Krispy Kreme.
I've never had it. I just know
I put it in S tier.
But it has to be like warm.
Yes,
I like it when it's warm and drippy and gooey.
Yeah, like
and
the
you can,
glaze
put
is
your
wet.
fingers in
Like
it
it's wet.
and roll your finger around and get
Obviously,
it on your fingers.
Me and DJ
like
Eric had the same thing when it was like Krispy Kreme is better than Dunkin' Donuts. Whoop! S tier.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the Power Ranger movie was coming out and it just had the biggest marketing, just Krispy Kreme in every shot of the movie?
I was like, "Are you a ventriloquist?"
Yeah, so Krispy Kreme has to look it has to look sus. It has to look ultra sus.
Yeah,
and
so
that's when you know
Krispy
it's
Kreme
good.
to me is literally like nothing but sugar. That's it. It's like you're biting into just sugar. So
Do you get the same thing where like if the hot and ready thing's on, if you buy it, you get a free donut?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Five Guys S tier for me.
It's S tier for me too. Yep.
No,
It's too expensive, but it's top tier.
I agree
burgers.
with Darren. It loses a point because it's overpriced.
Yeah.
It goes.
I
Down
mean,
to
I still
80,
think it's
so
S
overpriced.
tier. Like,
What are we broke in the house or something? Are we brokies in here? I don't
It's like
understand.
when you're
$50 for a
comparing-
burger, though.
Yeah, when
Like,
you're comparing shit, yes. Like,
I'm just doing taste, but I understand why you guys would lower it
Yeah.
for that. Right?
sorry,
it's still S for taste.
sorry, Mr. Rolls Royce.
I'm
We're rolling
quality
into the
and
drive-through.
taste. I'm quality and taste.
So Buffalo Wild Wings for me is average.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it in B. It's just average. It's a little bit better than Hooters, but it's like an Applebee's essentially.
We don't
Pasta
have-
Jacks never had it. So
Never, we don't even have it.
I do like the that makes me hungry looking at their logo though.
Olive Garden.
It's tomato, Eric. What are you
That's an
talking?
A for me. That used to
Okay.
be like my favorite
Yeah,
restaurant
Olive
as a
Garden
kid.
for me is an S.
S or
So-
A, yeah.
The breadsticks are an S for me. But the Olive Garden
heard-
in general is like Red Lobster in my opinion.
I've heard it's like
just- it's literally-
mediocre if it's not the breadsticks.
I love
Well, they
that
also
pasta.
have really good salad too. Their
Yeah.
pasta's okay, but they have really good salad. So, Baskin
Yeah.
Robbins is like B to me, B tier ice
It
cream.
is.
Because it starts with a B.
Yes. Yeah,
There's just
no
better
R's,
ice
so
cream
it's
place. We have it in Australia, but it's just better ice cream places.
I would say
probably like a low B, I guess.
I would say Burger King is better than McDonald's, but not S tier.
I like Burger King. Hot take. I
I-
like Burger King more than McDonald's and Wendy's.
I will think on a consistency level, if you get a medium Burger King or Hungry Jack's as it's called here, it's better than a medium McDonald's. Like in regards to
Yeah.
like a mid quality, it's better than McDonald's.
I'm a sucker for like a good Whopper. I'm a
And
sucker
Yeah,
for
I
a
think-
good-
I would
the
say
meat
Burger
tastes
King
better
for me
'cause
is
it's
going to
like
go
the
into the A
flame
tier
built in.
probably. That's where I'm at.
Before McDonald's. Let's be honest. There.
Boop 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 right up to the S tier for Domino's.
Yes,
That is an S
yes.
tier for me, 100%.
As I said,
Literally
in Australia,
the king
it's
of
like
pizza
a-
places here. So
I'd give it
Australia,
a
it's
C.
probably like an high B, low A in Australia.
Wendy's, bring it down.
But I had-
B.
But Eric, I had Domino's in America, so unless it's changed a lot since I was over there, it was just fine. The best thing that you do over there with your pizza places that we don't do here is that you get marinara sauce on the side, like the pots of marinara sauce.
why do they not do that in Australia?
I think it's just not a big thing down here with any of that. Like even if you go to even like an American style pizza place, they don't like individual restaurant. They don't do that.
I don't like Domino's. I'll be honest. I think it's like a C
Yeah,
for
it's
me.
an acquired taste. In my area, it's really good though.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
very-
3Dub had some Wendy's slander in this building.
Yeah, I went
It's
all
just-
the way
it's like
down
a
to
C.
D.
You know why?
I
Wendy's-
went D.
I don't
went
like
D.
Wendy's either.
What?
It's the most basic fast food that you can get, I feel.
What? What
And-
planet am I on?
I
If I
will
switch
say-
timelines,
I will-
is this another planet in the multiverse?
I will say Wendy's here is the when you go inside, it's like a not pleasant. Like
whole house essentially. Like,
It's dry, not much flavor.
uh,
The
we
worst fries I've ever had. I hate the Wendy's fries.
basically it feels like they're poor.
They do have bad fries. I like their fries from
I
the
will
90s
say
better.
this: chicken nuggets. Their
Wait,
chicken
you
nuggets
don't-
is some of the best you'll get.
Oh my
When-
god.
Wendy's
Y'all are
here,
gonna
like-
hate me. You're gonna hate me when I do this.
Wendy's Wendy's for me is like they don't know the meaning of upgrade.
Wendy's. Oh, that's true. That is true. I will agree with you on that. Wendy's for me is A tier. I think their burgers, when you get them fresh, are really, really good.
No, you know why Wendy's loses points? I had it once and I ordered it. I'm like, why is this meat square?
Because
Why
that's
am
the
I-
bomb. You get the edges of the meat with the bun. Like you don't like
No,
that?
why is it square?
Oh my god! I eat those corners first. That's the first parts I eat of it every single time. So my burger goes from like a square to like a like a trapezoid. It's great. Like it's great. Taco Bell for me is a C.
Well,
That's an S for me. I'll be honest.
You know what? You know, I
Is it
think
really?
it is. I think
I love
quality
Taco
wise
Bell.
it's a C, but I think because it's cheap, it's a B.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
doing
what-
money. I'm doing it based on the fact that it sends me to the motherfucking bathroom. So
I
I'm
just love a good
putting it in
taco,
C
man.
every single time.
How does
Taco
that
Bell.
send you to the bathroom and Domino's doesn't with the greasy cheese?
Did you like order
Because
beans?
Domino's has fresh cheese. Taco Bell's is not always fresh.
If Domino's has fresh cheese, then I am Jesus the Lord Savior. Like that is the biggest load of ass.
They
It'd be
do.
frozen
They-
cheese, like a
They
block of
make
frozen
their cheese every morning before.
What they milk the cow?
They milk the cow
cow
and they churn it and they make it every single morning at Domino's. I've seen it happen. I know it's happening. Every Domino's has their own cow on premises.
Sonic is a D for
Just
me.
slaughtering it. We don't
A
have
D?
Sonic around here.
Yeah.
Sonic is a D.
I know,
Oh my
I-
god!
We
What
don't
is
have a-
As soon as you,
happening right
as soon
now?
as you said that, I knew it was going to trigger Eric because he gets Sonic all the time.
I will say, like, if it's about the location here, it sucks.
Oh my god!
It could be like a.
Darren, have you ever had Sonic? And please
We
don't
don't
tell
have
me you
those
put it
here.
in D. Okay,
We don't
good.
have those
Thank
around
God.
here,
No,
so.
well, I'm not happy you don't have it, but I'm happy that you're not putting it in D. Sonic has some of the best mixed drinks, like their smoothies and stuff are so good. Like literally, that is why we go to Sonic, is for their limeades and their smoothies.
Sonic.
So for me, I'm gonna put Sonic in B. I can't believe you're saying D.
No, the food is sucks.
Oh well. I
Why
don't
do
know
they
if
have
that's
Hardee's
so.
there when you have Carl's Jr.?
Yeah, I don't
as well?
understand. Hardee's is literally gonna go in the same spot as Carl's Jr. Steak and Shake is like a Midwestern thing. It's like
Never
it's
had
basically
it.
like an IHOP type place or whatever.
Yeah, they're really big here, and
Yeah.
like it used to be like an S for me, but like in the last couple of years they've done new management. They kind of suck now. Like they don't even have like waiters. It's a mess.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put it in C because I didn't have a great experience there. I don't know what this is right here. So
Nope.
something burgers.
Don't know what
Shake Shack for me is like a B tier.
You can put a B.
Never had it.
KFC. Okay.
KFC was so bad it shut down. That's how bad it was here.
Okay.
It's
So
just
look.
mid-chicken, bro.
But okay. So let me explain this before Paige has to say it. KFC is like the best fast food. in Australia.
South Texas Shark agrees with me. KFC is like basically F.
Yeah, in Australia, KFC is S tier. Like, it's better than McDonald's.
Well,
better
guess
than
what?
Burger
We're
King.
not in Australia right now. And KFC here is a fucking D tier. It's bad. It's really bad. It's really, really
Yeah.
bad.
It's
Like,
just
I
a
had
one
it,
trick
yeah.
pony,
I had
and
it when I
that
was there.
it's like a one trick pony, and that pony isn't very
I will say
talented.
pies is the only thing good about KFC, but
Okay,
um,
I have to point this out. This alone was enough for me to put it in the D tier. When they got rid of their potato wedges and they gave you regular motherfucking French fries, I
When-
was done. I
when
was
I was-
done because when I would go there, I would always get a double order of potato wedges, the big boxes of potato wedges, basically 3 baked potatoes fried up and ready for you to eat in a box. And they got rid of them, and I was so fucking over it, they don't even make them anymore. You can't even get them anywhere.
When I was over there, they had the wedges. I remember that. I think they also had fries, though. You get wedges or fries.
Right, well, they got rid of the wedges, and I don't know why. They were fucking delicious. Best thing they had there, honestly. Outback for me is just B. It's just a
Never
B
had
tier
it.
place.
what's funny is I got fired from KFC because they didn't need a dishwasher anymore. They hired me for a dishwasher position, and they were like, this new manager came in and was like, we don't need a dishwasher. Bye.
Oh my god.
So
all right, so
basically-
Wing Stop or Wing Street or whatever it is just a Pizza Hut place. It's
Never
okay,
heard of
but
it.
I'm gonna put it in the same tier as Pizza Hut. Like it's literally same
Tropical smoothie for me is an S.
Never had it.
I'm gonna say A for me. It's not really an S tier.
It's also very healthy.
It is. Well, you know what? Then it's going into D.
What?
Daylight Donuts never had them. Tacos for Life never had them. David's Burgers never had them. Golden Corral is a buffet.
S tier.
They used to be back
A
in the day.
buffet,
Are
man,
they
is
still
always
S
S
tier?
tier.
Is it?
I think just like buffet as a concept is always just S tier.
Let me go up
Like
here and
it's
do that
just
then.
you can get anything, man.
We'll
It's
put it
it's
S
great.
tier. Shipley Donuts, don't know what that is. Firehouse Subs is a solid B for me. Chuck E. Cheese
D.
pizza.
Back in
Some
the
of the
day, it
worst
was an
pizza-
S because that was a kid and stupid. So.
Okay, wait. Are we rating the games or are we rating the
The
pizza?
food. We're rating
Because
the
they
food.
have some of the worst pizza I've ever had.
It's like cardboard with cheese on top of it. That's all it is, really.
But you don't go for Chuck E. Cheese for the food. You go.
That
for
Do
is
the,
you
true.
remember when
games.
Shane Dawson got in trouble for creating that conspiracy theory about Chuck E. Cheese?
But
Do
then
you
it got
remember that?
proven true because I see multiple things where it's like they're different shapes and sizes, the pizza.
So his claim was that they like make Frankenstein pizzas with like slices left over from other people's orders because you can order a half pizza or you can order by slice. So his thing was when you order a full pizza, they would just Frankenstein pizzas together with like other pizzas.
Yeah.
And he got in trouble for it, but then people were showing like they would order from Chuck E. Cheese and the pizza would be all different size slices. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So D tier.
Yep.
Burger Shack never had it. I don't know
Never
what this
had
is. Something deli never had that.
All
All right, Zaxby's chicken. Anybody familiar
The
with that?
only thing I've ever heard about Zaxby's is that they have like a Mr. Beast box or something. I saw that on TikTok.
I will say Zaxby's is a B for me.
I'm
What
gonna
is
go
that?
with yours
Zaxby's?
because I don't know enough about it.
I'm assuming
we
it's chicken.
actually it is. It's Zaxby's chicken. We just had Red Robin today, and our Red Robins are actually good. So I'm gonna put it in A tier.
Never had.
What's
Yeah.
Red Robin?
It's like a customizable
Red
burger
Robin
place.
Yum, you know that commercial?
It's a
Wouldn't play on
gourmet
TV,
burger
yeah.
restaurant. Like you go in and you sit down and it's like everything is done gourmet level, but it's all burgers. So
Okay.
Ruby Tuesdays is the same way.
yeah, but we don't have a lot of those anymore.
I do.
Dave and Buster's food is like it's not great. I mean, it's people go there to play video games.
We got one getting put in inside our like local mall. I'm excited to finally try it.
I'm gonna put it at C because it's just like deep fried food. It's like cheese sticks and stuff like that. There's not.
I
a
will
lot
say
on the
for
menu.
Cracker Barrel, the breakfast is really good.
I thought you said that what you call it was for old people. Cracker Barrel is for old people.
No. I said what
Panera, right?
Panera, yeah.
Right, but I was saying if that's for old people, then Cracker Barrel is definitely for old people.
Well, no, not all.
Do
old
you want to?
people
Okay, hold on. I'm going to look up what is the age demographic of people that eat at Cracker Barrel.
70?
All right, let's see. 43% of Cracker Barrel guests are over 55 years old.
Wow,
That's
Well,
almost half.
What's funny is I've only been to, the reason why I like it so much is because every time I go to like on vacation out of my city, there's a Cracker Barrel, and we always like go.
Well,
to it.
they do that for old people that are doing road trips. That's why they're at every rest stop. Like
I was on a hurricane retreat because hurricanes target Florida.
exactly, and that's why it was for old people. I'm telling you, 3Dub. However, I know you said breakfast is good. They actually have a really good burger bar now inside Cracker Barrel. I don't know when they made that change, but they made it.
Anthony says Panera is for old healthy people. Cracker Barrel is for old fat people.
Well, you know what? Then I'm gonna be an old fat person and put Cracker Barrel in A, so that's where it's gonna be.
There's no Denny's
All right, so
on here. How dare they?
I know they're missing a bunch of them. However,
My dad's been
hold on.
working there for like 20
Look, yeah, and
years now.
Fuddruckers. Like, where the fuck is Fuddruckers?
Yeah, I looked up like the definitive American fast food list, and this was the one that came up, but I think it's missing some.
Yeah, Slim Chickens. Like, where the
yeah.
fuck is Slim Chickens?
Well, it said Midwest, so I'm assuming like Arkansas and stuff is probably in the Midwest.
I'm just glad they have Five Guys.
Yes. So in the S tier, these were the ones that we picked as S tier, which is Popeye's Chicken. I agree. I think it's the best chicken place on this whole list. Krispy Kreme Donuts is the best donut place on this list. I think Look at this. It's a good variety. We did good. Everything in this top list is like different shit.
There's like
so
a
Five
genre,
Guys is the
you
best
know?
burger place. Domino's was listed. I know there was some controversy about this, but Domino's was listed as
You
the
know
best
what?
pizza place.
You know what? If
What?
Fuddruckers was on this list, it would be in place of Five Guys. Fuddruckers is better than Five Guys.
It is.
Um, Is
You better not disagree with that 3-Dub.
No, I'm just saying. Is Danny's
Never heard of
chicken
that.
better than Popeyes for you?
Is what better?
Danny's chicken.
We don't have that here.
You don't have that?
Mm-mm.
We have
Never heard of
Popeyes, Danny's, and KFC.
Do you mean Denny's like the? Like
no, Danny's.
Danny's, Danny, right?
Like Danny
Yeah.
Zuko.
Yeah. And we have Golden Corral as the top for, as far as like buffet options, which I would actually put Golden Corral up against, like, in my opinion, up against like Applebee's and Chili's and Outback because. It's
Do you have
like
Sizzlers over there?
We used to, but they went out of business at least.
Yeah,
in
they
my
went out of
area.
business over here as well. Cheese
Do
toast.
you guys have a CC's? That used to be
Yes.
my favorite place.
That is
to
D
eat.
tier though. That is D tier now. That is awful. Yeah.
Oh, as a kid, it was like my favorite place to go.
I will tell you the worst Italian place I've ever been to in my entire life. When I used to work at the mall, let's close the list here. When I used to work at the mall, we had a place, and this was back in the 90s, so I'm dating myself here. When I worked there, they opened this restaurant up outside of the mall, and it was an Italian restaurant, and it was a fast food place, and we were like, fuck yes, because the only thing in the parking lot was Olive Garden. So we're really excited we were getting like a fast food place with Italian food. And it was called Fazoli's. Does anybody know about Fazoli's?
No.
Okay. When I tell you...
Is that in the 50s?
No. When I tell you it was the worst fucking food I've ever had in my life, it was so bad.
Wait, you know what I
Like-
want to ask you, Eric? Have you ever been to one of the restaurants on Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares?
No, never.
Okay, I was wondering if you ever been to one of those ones.
No, I don't have any
went to
going either.
I went to a restaurant in the Guy Fieri. What is it? The Diners, Drivers, or whatever that show that he did.
Yeah.
I went to one of the restaurants. He went on to that show. Oh, no, sorry. I think it was Man vs. Food.
I've been to some of those because some of the ones he's done have been in my area, so I have been to some of those.
Is anyone from California here and been to Phil's Barbecue in California?
I've heard of it.
It's so good. When I went there for Comic-Con, I think I had Phil's because it was on the way down to San Diego. We stayed in LA and drove down to San Diego each day because fuck bang in San Diego. No offense to San Diego, but actually a bit of offense. But it was, I'd rather stay in LA than drive down. But there was a Phil's on the way. Got it there depending on the time, but usually it was on the way back, and it was so good. Phil's Barbecue. It was like amazing. I'm not too sure if it's in Northern. I think it might be a Southern California thing, Phil's Barbecue.
Well, we just ended the poll about which movie is going to flop in 2025, and it's actually a tie between Jurassic World and Superman. Fantastic Four only got 15% of the votes.
Jurassic Park's not gonna.
I think there's some Superman fans that were just like, I'm going to pick Jurassic Park because of Jurassic World. So
people underestimate how many kids love dinosaurs. It's just
that is true.
I will say, it's not a good Christmas a birthday present to give a 7-year-old the first Jurassic movie where they rip someone in half.
I think I watched that movie when I was 6 and I was loving it. I was like, suck dick, that lawyer.
Well, here it scares the living crap out of my nephew.
What was the movie I had to? I think it was my older sister made me watch. Oh, I'm pretty sure I shat myself. It wasn't good. It was. I know I watched Jaws when I was really young. I might be like 6 or 7 when I watched Jaws. Not good, especially living near the beach.
Church's Chicken is actually good here.
I've heard Church's Chicken is good. Isn't there another one? I think someone might have wrote in the chat.
There's
I don't know if it's
Bojangles.
chicken.
It's
Bojangles is really good.
Bojangles sounds like something made up.
It's really
Fucking
funny watching.
stupid name, Bojangles. What the fuck?
It's really
A&W, they have the best fucking hot dogs. They have the big, thick, hot dogs, the softest buns. Yeah, they're really good.
It's really funny watching
Culver's.
my nephew change his what he likes as he grows up. He used to be scared of Spider-Man, and now he loves him.
Oh, that's funny.
Have you had Culver's? That's what someone wrote in the
Yeah,
chat.
Culver's. I've actually had their cheese curds and their milkshakes, which are really good. I do want to say somebody was asking earlier about the Lord and Miller situation with Sony, and we didn't really talk about it here, but we talked about it I think we talked about it last episode, maybe the episode before. About them not doing the Spider-Man TV thing anymore. They were Sony basically took them off the project. I don't know if that's going to affect the Spider-Verse movie though. The last Spider-Verse movie. I don't
The
think
last
it
one
is.
should be good. And
It's
then
probably
I
already
think,
written and everything though. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't-
do we think that interrupts Noir, or do you think that stays on track with someone else? Because they have casts and writers already.
Well,
so I
I've
think-
had Jollibee, but that's a Filipino restaurant, not an American one. It's
Yeah,
just
we
in
have
America.
a Jollibee here. It's like the only one in my area, or like
Jollibee's
in
good
on the East Coast or whatever.
I don't think
it's
weird though because like the spaghetti is weird, man. Like
yeah,
the
because it's got
spaghetti's odd.
ketchup on it instead of like marinara, which is
Yeah, well, just the fact that it's like this like fast food spaghetti in a fried chicken joint, it's just a bit weird, but it's still decent. It's cheap as well from memory.
So
I shared
can we yeah, we'll look at that in a second, but can we all address the question before we move on to something else? Because Anonymous asked like 5 times. How do we feel about that whole Spider-Man thing? Are we worried that it's not going to be good because Lord and Miller are not attached to it? Because it looks like they might continue to do it without
What
them.
was the TV series? Is that the Silk one?
Silk was
No.
canceled. Now
Yeah,
it's
Silk
just
was-
Noir, but like they were going to be tasked in like revising like an entire slate of TV shows apparently,
Yes.
and that's no longer in the works. But we don't know about Noir if that's still on the table or if that's getting, because again they like Nicolas Cage is on board. They have a cast, they have a crew.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if it's going to just go to someone else.
Yeah. Because they're still doing the film stuff. It's just this is Sony TV was
Yeah.
what they were attached from. So I don't know. I like them, but I don't think everything has to be done by the same people. So it's okay as long as they get the right people in place of it. But right now, I think a lot with Sony is hanging on how well Craven does. To be honest, like I know that's weird to say that, but they went back and they actually did a lot of reshoots and stuff to make the movie better. So I think they're hoping that movie performs because
I honestly think they're done with the movies after Craven.
You think so?
I think Madam Web was like a wake up call to be like,
So
oh,
this is what Danny's fried chicken is that we haven't. People were saying Denny's, and I'm like, no, this one's Danny's.
Danny's fried chicken.
Danny's fried chicken.
Yeah, it's a small. It's like a restaurant in Florida.
I was gonna say because looking at this, it looks like it's a local restaurant or like
Mhm.
semi-local.
Is it the plastic plate that gives you that idea in the picture?
maybe. I'll have to try it when I come to Florida. I go to Orlando often, so maybe it's there.
I'll tell you what, I went to a place in Inglewood when I was over there and it was amazing. It was like a fried chicken joint. Once again, it had bulletproof glass, but it was...
It's
I just have to-
California. You keep bringing that up like it's a big surprise. Like California has bulletproof glass everywhere.
How about you pick another state?
I don't know why. When I was over there, my mate, that was weird, just always wanted to go to Inglewood. Like it wasn't like Inglewood specifically or Compton. It was like areas around. There was like shops there that he wanted to go to. He was trying to find cheap shoes, and I'm like,
They've also gentrified those areas. Those areas have been gentrified. A lot of them have.
when I was there, there was a lot of construction, like development, like flattening out ground and stuff like that. So I don't know if there was housing there or something, but there was a lot of like vacant lots that they were. I don't know if they had the Olympics by that point. I don't know if LA had got the
I
Olympics.
don't know.
That
Yeah, I'm not
might have been
sure.
why, but there was a lot of flat stuff there, so there was a lot of development
So
going on.
is California the only state you've been to?
No, I've been to New York and Hawaii. So they're the only states worth visiting.
Wow.
All right. Well,
So Disney World, all that,
yeah.
Disneyland.
Disneyland is in California. Disney World is in Florida.
Disneyland is small.
Yeah, but it's also
they
the
arguably
OG.
have the best rides apparently. So I don't know if that's true or not because I don't ride a lot of rides.
When I went to Disneyland, I got I'm pretty sure I got like I don't know what it got me sick, but there was something in there and it gave me the old tummy rumbles. It was something dodgy. Speaking of expensive, that was fucking expensive. The food there.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. It's 2:00 in the morning, so we need to wrap
Eric's
this up.
on his way to McDonald's to get
I
hopefully
am
a nice
I'm
hot.
actually hungry now because of that. So the next tier we do is not going to be about food. It's going to be something else. So, anyway, so I want to thank everybody for being here. Darth Bunyan, who had to head out, I appreciate him stopping in. I know it's late as night for him. 3Dub for showing up tonight. He did not oversleep too much. He was a little late, but didn't oversleep too much. So.
No, I didn't. I wasn't sleeping, but basically I did fall asleep on stream when the camera was off.
Oh, well, there we go.
That's why I got energy now.
Oh, that explains the farting, sleep
Yeah.
farts. Okay.
It was muted, so yeah.
Anyway, Paigey, as usual, here to liven things up. And thank you, Darren, for stopping in. It's always good to have you on the stream. And thanks to chat for being here, all the super chats, the members who showed up and everything. Appreciate it. And if you watched this on playback and there was missing stuff, just know that it was claimed. And there we go. Anyway, we're out. Go ahead.
I was going to say the thing that I shared a few weeks ago about the Deadpool and Wolverine hasn't been claimed on your video yet.
No, it has not.
I told you.
All right, we're out of here. Have a good night. Bye.